Total Smith here. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Downtown Deuce ASAP. Come on, man.
Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. It's our time. Can you feel the elevation? We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination. Together all the time together. It's us against the world, it don't get no better. We turned it around, that was the beginning. Coming for the crown, you know we winning. Time to put in the work, I'm about to go for step. Taking our prisoners, it's my time. Yeah, I know that it hurts. Saying break out the church, you don't wanna see me in my prime. The mission is to ring, we're caught in everything. In the city, supporting the dream. Reaching new heights never seen, we deserve to be king. It's all or nothing, no in between. The clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Now the clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Can you feel the elevation? We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination.
Detroit basketball. Woo! What up, though, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Downtown Deuce Show with the boss. Hope everybody is having a great Thursday night, Friday Eve. Whew, what a game, man. Boss, how you feeling over there?
I'm just so happy we pulled it out. I mean, it was ugly, but it's a W. If we lost this to Grayson Allen and his little ego, I swear. So I'm just so happy that
Grayson.
No, not at all. And you can see why tonight. He was dirty and then crying. I don't like that. Be dirty and then own up to it. But anyways.
This game was wild.
Yeah.
This game was wild, man. It was a tough watch at times, right? This game was ugly. It was ugly. Let's call it what it is. This game was ugly tonight, man. It wasn't pretty. But once again, you know, these games are not always going to be pretty. When you can win ugly games, that is actually a sign of growth because it shows you learning how to win in multiple ways. By the way, chat, we see y'all in the chat, man. Y'all are flooding the comments per usual, and we absolutely love it. Y'all know the drill, man. If we miss your comment, go ahead and repost it, put it in caps, or hit us for a super chat, and we will do what we can to get to you. We appreciate y'all for sure. By the way, the poll is up, guys. So the poll for tonight, as usual, is who gets the belt, right? Who gets the belt? We got some candidates up there. Like they say, we got a lot of candidates. Right? So you guys go ahead and weigh in, and we will check on that later in the show. We got some super chats coming in. We're gonna get to those in just a minute here, boss. As far as the injury report, the Pistons had a 4-day break, 4 days off. It served them well, health-wise at least. Cade Cunningham started along with, actually before you get there, Cade Cunningham was out, Tobias was out, and Jalen Duren were all out previously. They were all back in action tonight. Paul Reed was actually missing for this game for personal reasons, so hope everything is good with B-Ball Paul. And the Suns were missing Devin Booker and Jalen Green. He's been out for a while. It's crazy, boss, because I honestly forgot that Jalen Green was with the Phoenix Suns until they showed him on the screen. Yeah. It's crazy because just a couple years ago, everybody was talking about Cade and Jalen, this rivalry, right? Cade and Jalen. But now, all people are talking about now are Cade and Jalen, as in Jalen Duren.
Yes.
Not Jalen Green. So how quickly things can change, man, for sure. So before we get started, I want to run through these starters for tonight. The Pistons, with most of the roster back, full strength almost, had Cade Cunningham starting at the 1, Duncan Robinson at the 2, Ausar Thompson at the 3, Tobias Harris at the 4, and JD at the 5. So before we get into these initial thoughts, boss, let's go ahead and hit these super chats, and we'll take it from there. We got our guy Doug popping in per usual. What's going on, Doug? Doug says, song sticks in my head all day, Deuce. Hate you. Hey, I hate you too, man. You know it's all love, bro. Appreciate you, man. Damadavi coming in strong per usual says, make your free throws. Oh my God, bro. This is wild. Wild, man. Couldn't throw it in the ocean. He says, glad guys are back, but it was some ugly and rusty basketball tonight. We play physical ball, and I embrace it, but the Suns are borderline dirty with guys like Allen and Brooks as right on cue, boss, as you just said there. And he said, anyway, the Pistons won again. Hey, shout out G-Mac Cash. Y'all already know what it is. Appreciate you, Damo. As usual, Dominic always coming in, man, showing support. Appreciate you, my dog. And now we have Reb P with my favorite profile picture here popping up. Says, our game was uglier than a Wayans brother in a draft. Wow. Taking it back to the In Living Color days, bro. Says, but Ivy, Ron, and Tobias really turned up tonight when we needed them. Cade is rusty AF, and we were off tonight. Bench was huge again. Yeah, that's been a strength all year, man. The bench has been a strength all year, whether it was just coming off the bench, giving us a spark, or even at time just starting, right? Some of our bench guys coming in and starting, plug and play. We have a deep team. That's why it's important to have depth, right? So you are right on point, bro. Appreciate your support, man, for sure. And keep that profile picture there. I love that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, boss, let's go ahead and get into some initial thoughts, and then we'll circle back to the poll and see the results. But as far as what you saw in this game, boss, holla at your boy. What did you see? What stood out to you tonight?
Yeah, I mean, we started off pretty good, I think, especially coming off of a game where we're not playing for 5 days.
Yeah.
But then we just went downhill from there. The Suns were hot from 3. I mean, they are what did they say? 9 of 11 in their last 12, or
yeah, I think they were 8 of the last 10, so they would have been 9 of 11 had they won the nice game. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they have been picking up, and they're another defensive team. You can tell, with just like, when we have Cade out, we don't necessarily worry. So when they had Booker out, they had guys that got the job done.
Mm-hmm.
I was really mad that we were letting, Allen get anything. I mean, he is an impressive 3-point shooter, but our perimeter defense really lacked. And then I noticed, we couldn't really afford to have Stewart Duren down low because of that. And so they were able to get to the basket a little easier.
Yeah.
But overall, we grinded through it. We just showed our grit. A lot of guys stepped up when we needed them to.
Yeah.
It was definitely a team win. Like, Cade wasn't making his shots, but he was, of course, still assisting, getting out there,
yep.
Doing the job. So, and JB, I really appreciated the timeouts that JB took tonight. He took them at the right times. He just kind of noticed when to, try to get the team to wake up again and get involved in the game. And right. I guess the last thing I would have to say is just the challenges too. It was a physical game, but it was a weird referee night in the fact that I think we could have, if we had like 3 more challenges, I think we could have used them.
Man, the whistle.
I know.
These challenges were crazy. These replays were crazy. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, no, you're totally fine. But I know you have the poll up, so guys, please go vote because I'm super curious.
Yeah,
I keep in mind with one person in mind, but then, like, of course, as we were talking, I was like, well, this person can be considered and this person. So I think there's arguments for everyone. It was definitely a team win. So I'm just glad we pulled it out. Like, we needed this W after we lost to the Clippers,
right?
Just to get the ball rolling. And Cade won't have another night like that, at least not back to back. So
yeah. It's good to shake the rust off in a win, right?
Yes.
You can easily say, we'll bounce back. Flush this one down the toilet, but to still be able to get a win in this type of situation, these circumstances, when you're not playing well as a team, and to still just give the effort that was needed to just gut it out, that's a sign of maturity. Young team showing maturity. They just stuck with it. Stuck with it. They didn't drop their heads. They just stuck with it. And sometimes games are gonna look like this, especially when they slow down. Zion says, he says, go back to that one.
I lost it. You guys are just going through it so fast.
The comments are coming in hot. Don't worry about it.
Someone said, "What's up, Pistons fam?" Here we go. This was Liftnetty Ed. What's up, Pistons fam? And then we had, oh my goodness, I can't keep up.
We'll come back to it. I did want to get this one while you're looking for that one. Zion says, Deuce needs to make a Pistons One Again R&B remix. The streets need it. Hey, listen, man, G-Mac Cash, if you're watching, bro, your boy's ready, man. The streets need it. The people asking for it, man. Let's do it for sure. But yeah, so let me go ahead and get to my thoughts, boss, what I saw, and then you can kind of respond to that. We talked about a pregame, boss. Sometimes having this much time off during the season can be a blessing or a curse. It's the old rest versus rust conversation. Yeah. And I was just hoping that they'd come out sharp, rested and sharp. Like you mentioned, they did. Started off well. They just did not sustain it. Because even though the Suns, they are dirty, they do play a little dirty. They push the envelope sometimes, but they're physical. Yeah. They're physical. They like to do what we like to do. They like to turn you over and get out in transition. And I don't say this often about our team, but I felt like for at least half of this game, the Suns, they just kind of out-physicaled us. More physical, right? They were just they were dictating and kind of imposing their will more than we do. And we usually do that. But you can see the physicality that they play with and the ball pressure that they had. It kind of put the Pistons on their heels. They were a little dazed a little bit, kind of like, early in this game. But that's how they want to play, and that's why, you hope to see the Pistons doing what they were doing more than they were doing it to us. But it just didn't really happen. They didn't match the energy. They didn't match, even the Pistons transition defense wasn't there. You would see, all 5 Suns sprinting down the floor after a Pistons miss and maybe 3 or 4 guys with Pistons getting back. And to the point where they were getting offensive rebound. Like they push it, miss a shot, and they would still be the first one there for the board. Yep. Right. So the Pistons just were kind of stuck in the mud. It just, like I mentioned, they were kind of just dazed and by that haymaker that they got hit with in the first half by Phoenix, and they didn't really respond. You could even hear coach during the game, like, wake up, let's go. And it took them a minute to get going, right? But I thought another issue too, boss, was they didn't really defend the 3-point line well in the first half, right? They weren't, I won't say they were terrible, but because, Grayson Allen and Cole Gillespie got hot. Like they were knocking them down 3 or 4 feet behind the line. I think they shot 67% in the first quarter from 3. And right, that's crazy, right? Yeah. But if you watch the Suns defensively, they were getting back. They were getting back, and even in the half court, off of our movement, when we were running sets, they were still there to contest the 3-ball nearly every single time. When Duncan made some big shots, but a lot of them weren't open looks. He just made some tough shots. Yeah, but they were there to meet him. Like Allen. Much every time. Go ahead.
Yeah, just like Allen. I just looked it up. We only made 9 threes tonight, and they made 17. Oof. But also, just like your point, like you were saying, just that us playing to more their level is they were kind of keeping us out of the paint and out of the mid range. We were turning the ball over in there. They were doubling. We couldn't get good shots up in there, so we started taking perimeter shots, which I just do not like to do. I do not like to be forced into having to take threes because we can't get our usual buckets in the paint or at the rim. Right. So it was just tough. And it was, again, singing for them. They're a team of shooters. Like the Suns aren't going away. Nobody counted them in the West, and they're a factor, and they're on the up and up. A couple of West teams like the Clippers, the Kings are kind of, getting into a groove at this point in the season, and they can still make it into, the play-in and things. Yep. I definitely wouldn't count the Suns out, especially, it's a little bit scary. They got Devin Booker, who's one of the best shooters in the league right now. Like, and he was out, so they can definitely be a factor going forward. That's why I'm also just really happy that we were able to pull it out without our star necessarily doing his best. So
Exactly. Yeah. Heisenberg says, Deuce, I'm legitimately concerned about our free throw issues. That's the type of thing that can come back and haunt us come playoffs. I agree, bro. I agree. What did we shoot tonight from the free throw line, by the way? Let me see.
Not good.
I don't think, we shot 62%. 23 for 37. Yeah, that's not going to get it done. But once again, they don't usually shoot that bad.
Well, they shot 64%. They shot 16 to 25. But the fact that we had 37 free throw attempts when we usually bag for free throw attempts. And we talked about this before. We've talked about how we cry. We don't cry, but we say that we're not refed fairly and we don't get to the line as much. But then you get to the line and you put up 62%. No.
Right. No. Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. If you're going to, they're giving it to you, so you can't complain if you're not knocking them down. Yeah, that's a very good point for sure, because that's been a complaint for us for most of the season. Is that Cade sometimes putting up 30 points at times, shooting like 5 or 6 free throws. Like, what are we doing? So if we're getting them now, at least we got them tonight. So to show that you really are upset about it, you got to take advantage and show why you're upset about knocking them down when they're there. So I definitely agree with that point. I'll say this too, Boston, in the second half, they just matched their energy. They just picked it up. The physicality was there. The sense of urgency was there. The Suns called a timeout in the second half, 20 seconds into the third quarter. Yep. Like right away, you could just see it was a different urgency. I can't imagine what was said in the locker room, but I'm happy it was said because whatever it was, it woke him up. But yeah, just more urgency. You just played harder, turned the defense up, and even though they were shooting frigidly from behind the line, they just still found a way to get it done with their defense. So I thought that was encouraging.
Yeah, the second half was great because, in the first half, we just couldn't break the 15-point mark. And even when we got down to 4, they got back up to 10. And then we brought it back down to, what was the halftime score? 6?
7. Yeah.
7. Okay. But then, we came out, made a run, and they made a 9-point run, or they went back up by 9. And then we just never let them hit a run again. We were a little bit better with getting our stops and then making our shots. A couple guys were just important in that as well. I think Tobias had a different second half energy. Ron just brought his same energy that he always does, but it was just more efficient in the second half.
Right.
So, yeah.
I agree. Let's get to got a few more super chats, boss, and then we'll get to some individual box scores. Check out the poll. Doug coming back says, research Ivy shot chart. He shoots 75% from the right mid-range. Is that what he's saying? From the right mid-range? And 67% from the left. Show tonight, move him around. Broken record, I know. Yeah, but that's the thing. A lot of people didn't think he had a midi.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought he was just either a 3-point shooter or a driver. But he's always kind of had that. So it's just nice seeing them utilizing that more for him. Go ahead.
Yeah, and his efficiency tonight was great. I'm actually a little bit, I don't think we saw him a lot in the second. And then when he came in, he was still hot and going. So, I don't think 17 minutes were enough for him tonight. But he really just took advantage of it. I'm so happy for him because, again, he was going in the right direction, kind of had a slump. And now it was kind of almost the opposite effect. Cade was out with a wrist injury, so he had a little bit more time off and probably wasn't feeling 100% yet. But even with this break, his shooting was a little bit off after, and Ivy's was just hitting. So I was really excited to see that from him and that it stayed consistent throughout the game because he's gotten little runs. But yeah, we'll get to the box score later, but he was 6 of 8. So couldn't ask for better from him.
Good. Yeah, we're definitely going to get the JI soon. And we'll revisit you guys' comments or you can repost them once we get there. Go ahead, boss.
I'll definitely look into the shot charts too. Because he just really does feel himself. I think a couple of the shots he made was when he was way in the corner, even though he's in the mid range. Just those are really tough to make when you can't see any glass and stuff.
Right.
He did an air ball, but overall he did. And then he started 3 for 3 and then kind of threw up an errant 3 towards the end of the first.
You said Ausar?
No, Ivy.
You threw an air ball?
No, but I was talking about. No, he didn't necessarily throw up an air ball, but I meant those corner shots that he the mid range from the corner. It's easy to throw up an air ball, the ones where you can't.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. Ausar's 3 was uncalled for.
Yeah, I know. We'll get to that.
I think the shots that Ivy missed were the tough ones. Basically,
I agree. Yeah, for sure. And then Camille pops up and says, "If you ever feel bad, remember that I watched this game live instead of sleeping piece." Hey, you were a real one, bro.
Yes,
you were a real one. You didn't wait for the 13, 14, 15-minute highlights that they post.
And you didn't give up on them. You didn't give up on them after they basically looked like they had the life drained down of them the first half. So yeah,
that's facts. But see, he's a true fan. He's representing this team the right way because they didn't drop their head and he didn't turn the TV off. So shout out to you, bro, for sure. Let's check out this poll real quick, boss, and see the numbers on this. So once again, the poll is who gets the belt? And leading the way is Jaden Ivey and Ron Holland. We had to kind of do a combination because we didn't have enough slots, and a lot of guys could have got it tonight. So we did those two together. Yeah. They came in at 39%. So you guys let us know between Jaden and Ron who you thought got the belt. We'll go from there. And then also moving from there, Duncan Robinson at 27%, Jalen Duren at 23%, and Tobias Harris at 11%, boss. Okay. So pretty spread out pretty well. That's always a good thing because it shows that you got a team full of guys who can get it done for you. And that's
you said
instead of just having to rely on one or two.
Duncan's 27?
Yeah, Duncan was, let me check again. Duncan at 27. Yep. Okay.
Because I'm glad because he's who I kind of came in mind with, and then my mind kind of changed with the other guys. So I'm glad other people noticed what Duncan was doing out there for us. I mean, not only scoring because he kind of picked it up. He only had 8 points going into the second half, but just being out there in his effort and his fight and his fire.
He did his thing, man. I was happy what I saw from him for sure. So before we get to Duncan, let's go ahead and start with Cade tonight, boss. Tonight, guys, Cade had a game to remember, man, or to forget. Actually, remember, he had a game to forget that he does not want to remember. Tonight, guys, he had 10 points, 3 for 16 shooting overall, 0 for 7 from 3, 4 for 9 from the free throw line. He just couldn't get it going. 4 boards, 11 assists, 5 turnovers, 1 block in 38 minutes. Boss, what did you see tonight? What stood out to you from this game with Cade?
Well, first of all, just to address his turnovers, a lot of them were him just dribbling into the lane, trying to get his shot. Like he was just trying to get hot. And like I said, they defended the paint really well. They have a lot of good defenders. And he was able to get through some of the double teams pretty well. The fact that, he had a terrible game and still put up a double-double is just impressive. Yeah. But I will say, like, especially in the fourth, towards the end, I was like, Cade, I don't want you to shoot it. Like, now is not the time to try to get hot. He did have that nice where they put him in the post right out of the timeout, and he got us ahead by 4, a 2% lead. Right. That was nice. But then on the next one, he missed it, got fouled, and then missed his free throws. And I get it. That's how you could tell that it just wasn't. It was a fluke game for him because he wasn't even making his free throws. Right. There's nothing easy. And so the fact that he got 10 points is commendable in itself too. But I'm glad that, I think he we've talked about guys who try to play hero ball even when they're off. And I think he had a good balance towards the end of the game of trying to get shots that he knows he can make and also making sure that he's not, giving up a possession in such a close type game. So I had no notes for him personally, other than, again, like 11 assists. I do hope his wrist is feeling okay. And, especially the way we're playing, I feel like if he needs more time to rest, he should absolutely take it. But if not, this is not a regular game from Cade in terms of scoring. So not worried about it. I think he did. There were a couple games a couple possessions where he was harming us because he was just trying to get hot, but you can't make the shots unless you're shooting. So but overall, great in terms of just being the leader of our team and the playmaker and helping get other guys their offense and finding open guys for 11 assists.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the key. Like it was everybody tonight, and Cade was one of those ones that just didn't drop his head. Yeah. And this was a very frustrating game for him.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you could tell.
From his shooting woes to the turnover woes to the lack of foul calls. Mm-hmm. It was just a tough game for him. He was definitely, we talked about rest versus rust. The rust was definitely there for him tonight. He just could not get it going from anywhere. He's usually a pretty good free throw shooter. When you see him going 4 for 9, it's that kind of. That's the first thing I had to like when I saw the field goal percentage, but then I saw the free throws. I'm like, wow. Yeah, I know. Usually when you're not shooting well from the field, you can kind of get going if you can get to the line.
Right.
We've seen guys like in the past years, like SGA or James Harden or Luka, whoever, have terrible shooting field goal percentages, but they're pretty good at the line. And most of their points are coming from the line, right? But tonight he just couldn't find the bottom of the hoop, right? No. And it happens sometimes. But once again, you mentioned the wrist injury. Yeah. And then having missed 2 games on top of the 4 days off that they had. I mean, come on, man. Like he's been playing well all year. Yeah. Right. And like even with the turnovers, he hasn't hit 5, I don't think, more than a handful of games all year. That was one of the biggest improvements from him from last year to this year. So it happens. It's just kind of to forget about. Go ahead. Recently,
though, like I feel like his last 5 game was like a couple games ago, if his last 5 turnover game. But again, like you said, it doesn't happen a lot. He's improved so much because it used to be a little bit more common. So not an excuse with the wrist thing, because we had a couple guys come off of injuries, but also like I've said it before, not an excuse, but it could be an explanation. And again, he was getting frustrated. Like we saw shots go in and out. We saw him, get his normal floaters, threes. Like sometimes, he's off on 3, but tonight he was just off everywhere. And when I saw him step up for that technical free throw, you could just tell something was off. And I kind of had a feeling he was going to miss it, but
that was crazy. Toward the end. Oh man.
Well, they sent him there, to get, to try to get hot too. They've done it with other guys. Like, maybe just a free throw will help you get into rhythm. And he just couldn't find it. He was, some of his shots were open. A lot of his shots were contested. But again, it's not the norm for him. I'm not freaking out about it. And there's just a lot to say. Like when Brunson's missing all his shots, he's not putting up 11 assists, So it's just, he just adjusts so well to the game also. And I think if he wasn't trying to get himself going a little bit in certain moments, he would even have more than that. He could have hit 15, 16 assists tonight for sure. But I don't blame him for not trying to get going, because he has been able to get hot late in previous games for us. Mm-hmm. He just wanted to, help the team out. He just wanted to get the dub and be impactful.
That's a great point you made too about the assists. how we could have had more, because like you mentioned, we made only 9 threes tonight. We shot 28% from three.
Right? Two guys had 7 of them total.
Right. And a lot of them were good looks. A lot of them were good looks. Like a lot of them in the first half where they were really closing out hard and getting on guys, but there were some opportunities there. Some guys who usually do knock them down, like Javonte Green, who couldn't get it. That's how you know it's not a good game for the Pistons. When he's not hitting, you know it's a struggle. It's a struggle type game because he usually always shows up. So to your point, we not down just a few of those, get to 35%, average. He's at 14, 15 assists in the game. So that's a good point too that you make. Yeah. Somebody requested and suggested that we do another poll. Since Ron and Jaden had the highest percentage, somebody said just do a poll on those two. Okay. And so we just put that up. So we'll check that out in a few minutes, guys. Once you guys get a chance to vote on that, and we'll come back to it. Any more thoughts on Cade tonight, boss?
No, I just hope that, because going forward, we do. I hope that he just takes care of himself. Like maybe his wrist, we thought he was cool, and then going into the game, his wrist started bothering him. Who knows? But I hope he just feels better and feels more like himself soon, because we know, us as fans even know, that it was frustrating for him not to contribute more. For sure. In terms of putting up points, but yeah, still great from our point guard.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. By the way, Brandon, he says something earlier. He says, just subscribe to you, Sarah, watching you and Deuce one on the phone on my, make sure you guys subscribe to Sarah too, for sure. Make sure y'all go support her channel. She's just getting going, just getting her feet wet, but she needs y'all support. So y'all make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to her over there. Gotta support exactly, Brandon. We appreciate you, man. Yeah, y'all get over there, subscribe after this stream, for sure. But yeah, so that's all I got for Cade. Just a game to forget, right? Hopefully his wrist is fine. It looked like it was fine. He didn't look like he was in the pain. His follow through looked fine. He just couldn't find the bottom.
They were in and out. He wasn't airballing. He wasn't getting to the back of the rim. It wasn't stuff like that. They were pretty much in and out.
So I think we all are probably expecting a much better Cade Cunningham come Saturday when they play the next game. So we'll leave it there, okay, guys. And we will move now, boss, to Duncan Robinson.
Because I see some people in the line. Don't feel free not to leave this live, but it'll be in the caption. But it's Boss Talks Ball.
Boss Talks Ball. Yes, there will be a link in the description. Make sure y'all go check that out for sure. Boss Talks Ball. I like it. I liked it. Is it? How long did it take you to come up with that, boss? How long did you think about that name?
Pretty fast, because I was like, well, what do I want to do? And I was like, well, I want to talk ball.
Because I know you had basketball before, Sarah. Basketball.
I know, but I was thinking that too, but I was like, I don't know. Could get confusing. I don't want to say that for the rest of my life, honestly.
Right. Well, that's a fact. That's a fact. Good call. All right, let's go to Duncan. Tonight, guys, Duncan Robinson finished with 19 points on 7 for 12 overall. Good efficiency. 4-7 from 3. Good efficiency again. 1 of 3 from the free throw line, uncharacteristic. 1 rebound and 1 block. 1 block for Duncan Robinson tonight, guys. Okay. In 27 minutes. So, boss, what did you see from Duncan tonight?
Yeah, he had that block. It was the first quarter block on Goodwin's layup attempt, but it went back to someone and they ended up scoring, I think. But this huge hustle. I'm surprised he only got 1 rebound, because I have like clutch rebound written down. So it must have just been that one. I just felt like he hustled. Like, first of all, obviously super efficient from threes. This is exactly, the kind of threes that, we've been wanting for him. Like 4 of 7 is great, but because that's a great ratio, but then just great shots in the paint. He was just kind of throwing everyone off. And I like when Duncan chooses to dribble in, because guys know him as a 3-point shooter. So they're going to guard him harder on the perimeter. So if you can get around them, it's an easy floater. So I've just really appreciated that from him. He just had great hustle. When he hit that 1-3, he just at the end of the third, he was just fired up. And again, it's just something I love to see from a guy who's new to our squad this year. You just never know. The Detroit Pistons basketball runs deep, and we like guys that show their emotions and show their passion. We saw a lot of it tonight, and you could just tell that he was getting as frustrated as other guys out there. He got a technical foul for trying to keep Brooks away from Ron Holland. He got a technical foul for running in and pushing Brooks away, which I thought was a little silly, because he was just kind of be like, just dude, back off. It's like, that's that I'm bad, Yeah. Some of the texts they were giving out, I was like, what is this? Bill Laimbeer would be like, what?
Yeah, oh my God. Totally different game now.
But so I just appreciate that from him, but just obviously the shots, but overall, just what really impressed me tonight was his attitude. I just loved it. And he had that also in the third after the half. Cade missed a free throw and he had that big three and hit it. I mean, just his threes we've said this word before with some guys, but they were timely. Like they were just super timely. So 19 points is just nothing to scoff at for Duncan. He did great.
By the way, the chat is requesting you put your @ in the chat so everybody can make sure they have it. So go ahead and type that in there.
Thank you.
So we can make sure we can find you.
I'm mostly on Instagram on this, and if you don't, I don't post yet, but I'm working on it. But I'm always down to talk ball, so hit me up in there. For sure. Doug coming back around again, showing major love tonight. Doug says, "You know I love your music. You and Carl need to keep going." Shout out to Carl Collins, man. Carl Collins is a monster. All the intro videos y'all see and outro videos y'all see, the visuals are done by Carl Collins. I've been knowing him for a few years now. Really good dude. Extremely just talented in what he does with his video editing and stuff like that. So I got to shout him out per usual. I knew him before I knew you because of
you knew Carl. You know Carl?
I knew him in terms of following him on social media. Like I
know that.
He had videos around. Yeah. So I followed him before I even followed you. I was like, oh, let's go.
Small world. Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy for sure. Yeah, shout out to Carl, man, for sure. As far as what I saw from Duncan, man, he was hooping. Man. He was making some tough. I mean, we mentioned already, he was hitting some tough shots. It wasn't just all spot up threes. Like he had a nice and one off the glass. I liked his energy too, man. Like he was barking. He was vocal. You don't always see that from Duncan. It seems like, Phoenix has a way of getting under your skin. And he wanted to let them know that they weren't going nowhere. The Pistons weren't going nowhere. We're gonna be here all night. Y'all want to make it ugly? We'll make it ugly, right? So I just love seeing. Yeah, he got a tech like you mentioned. Like that's how you know somebody's trying to agitate your team or him individually, because he don't usually. A few guys tonight who were a little bit uncharacteristic with how they were acting tonight, which we'll get to later. But yeah, I like how he responded, man. Once again, he stuck with it as well. Probably was the most efficient, other than Ji, than anybody else tonight. Right? Just from shooting the basketball and scoring. So he gave us a huge lift, man. Yeah. He gave us a huge lift. Defensively, he was solid. Like he's not a great defender, but he was giving that effort, man. He was giving that effort. Anytime you see a block from Duncan Robinson, you know he's giving effort.
And in the first quarter, like right away, not before the game got out of control or anything, but just right away. He just showing that intensity. He was one of the guys that you're like, he didn't seem like he was on a break. He played his normal self, if not better, in terms of, shooting. And his shooting just came in a really clutch time when some other ones weren't falling. I mean, we did end up having 6 guys in double digits, which is great. But yeah, he was our top scorer tonight, man, at 19.
Duncan was?
Yes, Duncan had our most points.
Yeah, he did. 19.
Good job,
Shout out Duncan. Yeah. That's what's up, man. I'm glad to see that. By the way, Kev says boss knows ball. Yes, she does. That is why she is here, my friends. Who's the boss? He said. That's funny.
Yeah, you guys are being all very nice in the comments. Thank you so much.
Yeah, shout out Tony Danza for sure. Throwback. Yeah, man. So let's keep it moving, boss. I don't have anything else on Duncan. I thought he just played really well.
Fantastic.
We definitely needed his shooting for sure.
He would be and like I said earlier, he would have who I would have picked for player of the game, just in terms of the shots he was taking, the timeliness of them, and again his energy and attitude. Huge. Okay, I ain't mad at that. So, by the way, boss, the results on the updated poll of who gets the belt between Ron and Ji. Who do you think got it, boss? If you had to guess, who you say got it? Oh, man. I don't know. Are the Ivy haters in the building tonight? Because I told you, I think they're both impactful in 2 different ways. One offensively, one defensively. I would pick Ivy for the way he showed out tonight.
You would be correct. 77% say Jaden and 23% say Lil Ron. It really could have went either way.
Yeah.
Truly. It really could have went either way. I do think. And it's kind of like the way we were talking about it is not really like who the player of the game was. Sometimes they do work together, but considering Jaden hasn't gotten a belt since it's been in existence, he's probably going to get it, right? But it is very well deserving for sure. So yeah, definitely wanted to shout you guys out for your activity in the chat and the polls, man. Yeah, I do think Jaden's going to get the belt as well, and I think, boss, you are correct there as well. But Ron is equally worthy, in my opinion, of getting it. So are the other guys like Duncan and Tobias. It could have went to anybody. So
yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's leave it there, boss. And now let's go to Ausar Thompson. Guys, tonight Ausar Thompson had 5 points on 2 for 6 shooting, 0 of 1 from 3, 1 or 2 from the free throw line, 6 boards, 2 assists, no stocks, and no turnovers in 19 minutes, boss. What did you see tonight from Ausar?
I'm surprised by the no turnovers because I feel like he was disrupted a few times.
I thought he had a couple too.
So maybe it was disrupted and then, but you know what? We'll take it. The no stocks. Come on, Ausar. You're a defender.
Right.
You know,
right.
But you know,
it's like that little meme where it's like he's poking. He's like, "Come on, do something."
I mean, and the boards. I'm so curious because I didn't have any really notes for Ausar because I didn't love the way. I don't think he really stuck out and play in the first half, but the second half, he was in the third quarter especially. He came out and he was grabbing boards, offensively, defensively, finished. I was like, okay, there we go. Because I mentioned to you, and we talked about it last show too, and in the mailbag episode. With Eric and King, that Ausar, you can kind of tell what kind of game he's going to have kind of right away. Is he going to, be a little bit hesitant, be a little bit more passive, or is he going to, be confident, drive to the basket, do great? And he started off a little bit slow, but he had a very important third quarter that is like truly contributed to it. So he had our most fouls. So he had 4 fouls against him. Not terrible. When you're a defender, you're expected to get fouls. So, I mean, an okay game from Ausar. A great third quarter. Everything else, no. I think we talked about it last time too about, Ron and Ausar, and I feel like Ron did a little bit. He made Dylan Brooks took advantage of him a few times. So he made a couple rookie mistakes, young guy mistakes.
Yep.
But I think he just did a better on defense. He forced Grayson Allen off the 3-point line. In the fourth quarter.
He did.
And Grayson Allen was hitting those, but Ron would not let him get a 3-up. And that's hard because Grayson Allen can shoot it from, if there's any kind of gap, any kind of opening, he's going to shoot it. So he contributed in the third, basically, is where I'm at with Ausar. So
yeah, for sure. I agree.
Oh,
shout out Tom. What's going on, Tom? The Pistons won again. Hey, by the way, guys, 2 things real quick on Tom. Tomorrow night, I believe him and Jack are going live. Tomorrow, I think they usually go live on Friday nights, if I'm not mistaken.
Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, I believe.
At 9 p.m. So y'all make sure y'all go check them out, man. They be showing us love over here. I'm gonna do my best to tune in tomorrow night and reciprocate that love because y'all been doing that. I've been telling myself I gotta get over there. So I'm definitely gonna do that tomorrow night. Appreciate you as always, Tom. And guys, Tom is also going to be here for the playoffs in April. So if y'all didn't get a chance to meet him last time, we turned all the way up last time when Tom was here.
Yeah.
All the way when he was here. That was a lot of fun, man. So
helping him sign autographs.
Yeah, he was Mr. Celebrity in the building, you know what I'm saying?
Don't forget a pen this time. We had so many trouble finding pens for people.
Oh my God. Outside of Harry's. They were walking up to him asking him, he's like, yeah, I'll sign up for you. Got a pen? Nah. Yeah, no. Like, what you want me to sign it with then, bro? So but definitely, if you guys didn't get a chance to meet Tom, make sure you guys definitely are in the building for some playoff games because he's gonna be here on his own ticket, right?
Yeah.
He's a true fan, man. True fan. Gotta love Tom, bro. So make sure y'all show him some love, man. Looking forward to you coming up, bro. We gotta chill. I think Boss is gonna try to get out here around that time. No guarantees, but
I can't decide whether I want to come a little earlier, if I should, save all my money for a playoff game.
We got to get you here for the playoffs.
We'll see.
We got it at least for one. We got to get you here for at least one game.
True. Very true.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be turned. Yeah, because you haven't been here for a playoff game yet, have you? At least not with this.
And the Pistons haven't won a home playoff game in a while, so I think we should bring the luck. Bring
That's a fact. City. Yeah, it's still been 18 years since we've won a home playoff game. So I believe that streak is going to be snapped this year, and we need all y'all to be there. We need Boss to be there, and Tom is going to be there. I think Jack's going to be here too. So it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. So shout out to Tom, man. All right, guys, let's go ahead now and get to my thoughts on Ausar Thompson. And it was not a good game for me overall for Ausar. Wasn't his worst, but I've seen him play a lot better. I do think Phoenix did some things to make it hard for him, but I still think he can help himself in a lot of ways, at least offensively.
That's a great
way. Because we've been saying about it's like I've been saying it for a while now. He's best as a finisher, not as a creator. Right? When he's dribbling the ball and trying to get downhill, that's just not his game. I feel like most times when he does that, it's going to be a bad shot or a turnover. He just doesn't have control of the ball. He doesn't have the handle yet to be able to do that consistently when guys are trying to stick their hands in there and be disruptive. And too often when he's trying to do that, it ends up being a turnover. When he's off ball, when he's consistent moving off the ball in the half court, and he's able to find gaps in the defense and seams and lanes and things like that, he's great because he's one of the most athletic players in the game. Once he takes off, you're not gonna get there.
Yeah.
Right. So
absolutely.
That's what I want to see. I just want to see him being more of an off-ball mover. Half court, just continuous movement, man.
Right.
Like not quite like Rip because he's not that kind of player, but just don't stop moving. I don't want to see him in the corner. Yeah. They're not going to pay him any attention.
No.
Right. And we saw when they didn't. Yeah. They saw when. Right. I don't know if he needs to get more air, but because he kind of airmailed one tonight. But we saw like once.
And some, yeah.
I don't know. On one hand, I'm happy he's taking it when it's there because I got to be fair. Before I was saying too often when he would catch the ball wide open, he would try to barrel his way to the hoop and he would do exactly what they would want him to do, which is come to them with the ball, which causes a lot of those turnovers, right? So at least he's taking them now.
That's true.
Now I need him to start making some because I can't. It's been a while since I've seen Ausar make a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Taking them, but like you said, he's not taking them. He's been great against the boards. But I agree. I think I brought it up too early in the game. Like we were low on a shot clock, and Ausar was wide open, but like kind of in the deep mid range, and he wasn't an option there. Yeah, because it's not something that's a part of his game yet. And
right,
I think he was crucial with helping stop some of the perimeter shooting later on. He also got a little beat up. It looked like he hurt his ankle at one point. Then he got contact that already like pushed out of his eye.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah,
but just kind of when he was heating up. So, but what I guess in my positive thinking is I'm glad that he had a better second half than first. I'm glad that he kind of shook off some of it and just tried to be a little bit more aggressive in the second half. And some of his boards were very important that he pulled down. So
you're right. No, definitely. Like once again, the energy across the board with this team picked up, and he was definitely among one of the players that was just more active defensively or offensively. But once again, the Suns, they just weren't paying him any attention off like the defensively. They weren't paying him any mind. So I know that we all know that he's a top defender in this league. No question about it. Yeah. Right. From the numbers and just eye test. Like you can just see he's a really good defender. Right. Yeah. But as good as he is defensively, boss, he has to improve offensively for us to get to that next level.
Absolutely.
He just has to.
No,
he has to, right? When we talked about the turnovers, the shot selection, and even the free throw shooting, I think he's still below 60% on the year, right? It wasn't really a factor tonight, but I'm just saying across the board, in order for us to get to that next level, we need him to be at least somewhat of a threat. We need to make the defense account for him. Michael Hustle says, yeah, Greg Kelser was getting ready to cook Ausar, but he made that free throw to put him on a hush mode. He did. Yeah, go ahead, boss.
That was like, I'll keep it up. But that I remember that moment because Greg Kelser, you could hear the hesitancy in his voice because these were clutch free throws. These are free throws that we needed to make. And you can hear him be like, if he just gets a little, okay, got one. And then he missed the second one.
Yeah.
But at least he made one, but that's the whole thing. Like you said, like offensively, especially when we need to go defense, when we need to go deep defense, like have Javonte in there with Ron. Like when we have to go deep defense, we need him to be able to produce. And even if that is just, getting shots up at the rim, finishing again, like that's why I appreciated about his offensive rebounds because he was there to at least tap it in or get it back out. But yeah, he's just becoming and again, it's kind of weird. Someone mentioned that also when he puts the ball down, he's a turnover machine, that he had no turnovers tonight. I'm just curious about that, but that's what it seemed like. It just seemed a little bit disorganized. And again, I do think he shook it off towards the end, but we needed that from him kind of the whole game. And I'm just getting tired. A few games ago, we were talking about how great he played. And so for me, it's just becoming, again, two or three games in a row of great play, 2 and 3 rows of not so great play. I just need the consistency. I need to just like go in there and like, how Javonte Green and Holland, we know exactly how they're going to play no matter how they do. That's kind of what we need from Ausar. You just don't know what kind of Ausar night it's going to be.
Great point.
But yeah, I think the games like this are also just more learning opportunities. So
yeah, let's get to some of these comments. Let's see. D. David says he has a lot of work to do this summer. And I also think Ausar be in his own head most of the time. We need angry Ausar. Angry Ausar doesn't think. He just plays to his abilities. I 100% agree. Like, don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Right.
That was one of the things I was saying about Jaden when he first returned, but he had just gotten back, right? But just don't be afraid to step on toes. Don't be afraid to don't try to fit perfectly in the offense every single, just play.
Right. That's why I feel like I wonder if it correlates a little bit with what we talked about with Ivy, how he was kind of hesitant the closer the game was because they didn't want to harm us further. I wonder if there's a correlation in Ausar's game if he plays a little bit better when we have a good lead, and if he just wants to, make sure he doesn't make a mistake and maybe just overthinks it just a little bit. It just takes. We've seen it. It just takes a second of hesitation.
Right.
I mean, you can see what it does to guys who are behind the free line, and they're wide open and they take too long to shoot the three, and just being in your head, just taking you out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Such a factor.
Sean says Ausar is as disappointing as this year as Tech was last year. I won't go that far. Because Tech last year, if he wasn't shooting the ball well, he wasn't really giving you much.
He really got no playoff minutes when we even had injuries. Because he just became so unreliable. Ausar can still make big defensive plays and big defensive shots for us. It's more just so the offense. But I mean, I can see why it's just disappointing in terms of
I get it.
What the narrative around Ausar is and how we do look at him as one of the best defenders in the league, and he still is up there percentage wise. But we just need to see it more on a consistent basis. Yeah.
Ethan says, I still think Ausar needs to change his shot to a one-motion shot. Fred focuses on a balanced base, but Asar's issue is up top with that. I noticed that hitch too, bro. It doesn't look I won't say it doesn't look comfortable, but I may have to agree with you on that. I'm not going to question Fred Vinson. Boss, we were just talking about this. I wouldn't mind them stripping it down, and because he's already not a great shooter anyway. So just get it right now. Just get it exactly how it's supposed to be now, instead of trying to get him shooting well consistently, and then the hitch is still, causing problems, and now you got to start over. And what's that do to his confidence then? Once he finally starts to get comfortable. So I'm just strip it down now. Yeah. Strip it down now. Get it right. Get the kinks out. Work it out. Rep it out. Continue to work at it the way it's supposed to be now, since you're already not shooting the ball well. You can't really get any worse.
Well, and a one season turnaround, to turn around a shot in one season would be super impressive. So that's the whole point. It's don't focus on too much at once, because we also talked about how they wanted, him to work on his arch shot and stuff. But sometimes if you think too much about how you're going to arc a ball, you're just thinking. So just get up and shoot it the way that feels right. But right now, defense should be his focus. And then like you said, strip it down, work on one thing at a time, let it slowly build, let him get there. And also, I didn't see him bring the ball up too much today. I don't think he was really a main ball handler.
I didn't either.
So again, that's something I don't think we need to rush into. He's what, 23? He's young. He has plenty of time to develop into an all-around player that can play 1 through 5. But right now, he doesn't need to be that so quickly. I think he has a lot of goals, and he just needs to focus on one at a time. Next level. Yeah.
For sure. Off-base question, boss. Do you watch The Office?
Yes.
Okay, then you'll appreciate this comment. When I think of Fred Vinson, I think of the bosses on Office. Oh, Office Space. My
Office
bad.
Space. I've seen
Office Space asking, what exactly do you do? I've never seen Office Space.
It's dry humor comedy, but
is it worth the watch?
Yeah.
I'm open to stuff.
Yeah, it definitely, just if you're chilling at home and just want something, just chill vibe. It's funny. It's a little bit more dry humor, but it's office humor. So
I saw a lot of comments responding to that. So I'm like, okay, all right, maybe I'll check it out. But I agree with all you guys. I think it's it's gonna be a work in progress, man. He's very raw at this point. He does a lot of things well defensively, offensively. He does some things well, but it's just gonna take time. Like Mike says, he's still developing. If you saw Robin at age 23, you think he was far worse than Ausar. That's a good point, right? Yeah. Similar, I won't say similar players, but as far as just how raw they were and athletic they were, I do see what he's saying there. So it's just one thing at a time. This is a marathon for him as far as his development. So just gotta kind of live with it for now. But we do need to see some incremental progression offensively, because once again, it's hard to play 4-on-5 sometimes. Yes. Offensively, despite what he brings defensively, which is a lot, but it just shows you how much he needs to work on when we're saying that.
Right. And so again, I think just especially since it's a mental game, Ausar, if you're hearing this, amazing defense. You're doing wonderful.
Oh, for sure.
And I believe you so much for your offense. And it's gonna get there. But I just don't put too much pressure on yourself, because everybody tends to do a little bit better when they're not feeling the pressure and they're just being themselves and playing the game. So
I agree. So we'll leave it there, guys, on Ausar. And now we will move, boss, to Uncle T, Tobias Harris, man.
Yeah.
16 points tonight, guys, on 6 for 11 shooting overall. 0 for 2 from 3, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Get this, 5 steals.
Yeah.
For Uncle T. 5 steals in 29 minutes. Take off.
Look, a lot having him gone. We have a lot of guys at our bench that have picked up the slack offensively, like a Paul Reed or Daniss Jenkins or Marcus Sasser. But I just love having him back because he really is. He is so good at just backing down a defender and getting his shot where he wants it in the paint or near the rim. He just does it so clutch, so effortlessly. He started the scoring again. I feel like they always run a play to Tobias to start the game when he's in, but he had the jump shot to start the scoring. Then he had a dunk. Dunk had a dunk. He had 2 steals early in the first.
Yep.
One he got on oh no, that was the last set. In the fourth, he did this too small on Dylan Brooks.
Yes. Talk about it. Talk about it.
It just made me laugh so hard. I was like, this is the exact type of person to rage bait. Yes.
I loved it.
Get him his 15th, 16th technical foul. Get him suspended for a game, Tobias.
That's what happens when you poke the bear.
Yeah. So I just love that from him. And again, just kind of like I appreciated Duncan's attitude. I appreciated that from Tobias, especially coming back after an injury and a break. He had that big steal on Gillespie, who, by the way, is what a player.
He's nice.
Yeah, he's nice. I just hope he doesn't turn out to be a douche like Grayson Allen. But I do very much like him. He was hitting hard shots too, and he's a great defender. But anyways, he had a big steal on him, and then just big rebounds at the end of the fourth and big baskets. Like he was bringing it down. He was holding on to it. I love 2-handed rebounds.
We know. When you're
swinging the elbows, you're getting it out of there. He also had a BS tech, whatever for. Flash. It's just like he's holding on, like you saw JB trying to explain, like he's holding on to the ball. You admit there's a foul. You admit he's getting grabbed. So he's trying to free himself. Just like, his elbows were high during, but whatever. I think it just helped fuel him. So it was just so nice to see him again because the Suns did stop our transition game a lot. And we've talked about half-court offense, and our best half-court offense player is Tobias Harris.
For sure.
Because he just likes to set it up and slow it down. Like obviously he can run and get dunked, but you can give it to him and he'll find his shot, or he'll find, he'll do what he needs to do. And so, yeah, I loved everything from Tobias Harris tonight. All of it.
Yeah. All of it. I didn't love all of it. I loved a lot of it though. Okay. I loved a lot of it. Because he started slow. He started slow in this game. He hit the midi. But he had a lot of transition opportunities that he just could not cash in on. And I was a little bit concerned about that. You guys know why. You guys know my lineups and what I want, right? I just don't see him as much of a transition threat anymore if there's any resistance at the rim. Right? If there's anybody there with him, right? Backpedaling, set. He's 32, 33. So not even fair to expect him to still be jumping out of the gym or, sprinting down the floor fast or, freak athlete. That's just not, it was never him to be a freak athlete, but as he's gotten older, it's just natural. It happens. But that was the one thing that was a little bit concerning to me was just transition. And then talking about how we want to play more times than not is trying to get out in transition. You kind of struggle with that. Right.
Yeah.
But I must say, that's why there's more than one style of basketball. Even though we want to get out in transition as much as possible, we're not always going to be able to because we're going to be at times turning the ball over like we did tonight, taking the ball out of the hoop because they're scoring off of it, and now we got to run half court. Or maybe they're just taking care of the basketball. We can't turn them over, and we got to run half court. There are going to be times when we have to get shots in the half court. Yeah. And when we do is when Tobias Harris is most valuable, like we saw tonight. So I want to give him credit because he really just kept the offense moving for us when we needed it to. He kind of kept us in the game at some parts in the game when we just couldn't score. Yeah. And he was just getting his own offense, just going and getting it. Like he had some tough shots. It wasn't just all just, mismatch, mouse in the house post, he made some tough shots against some good defenders. Yeah. I don't like Dylan Brooks a lot, but when he's not playing dirty, he's pretty solid defensively. Yeah. But Tobias was cooking him. He was just cooking them. So, you need to have that in your bag. I still want to see Stu start, even though this wasn't a great performance from Stu per se tonight. He was okay. But I just, I still want to see Stu start alongside JD for multiple reasons that actually helped Tobias Harris off the bench. But I thought tonight, situationally, in this situation against this team who likes to play physical and who likes to slow the game down at times and make you slow your offense down, he's very valuable. Very valuable. So I want to point that out for him. I thought he played pretty good basketball, especially in that second half. He really, really played well. And he was a big reason as to why we were able to pull us out with our terrible shooting overall as a team. Absolutely.
And I just completely agree with you. I understand, why he was slow down the transition. Just goes into my point that he's better in the half court. It worked for us. It has its ups, it has its plus and its minuses, and we saw both tonight. But overall, again, especially late, he just made the big plays happen. And he was just, kind of what we missed. We still don't really have that 2 shooter for Cade, but Tobias has just proven himself consistent. I don't know what he's averaging this season, but he's at least 12 to 14 points a game.
That's a good question. Chad, what is Tobias averaging this year? Let us know. Go ahead, boss.
I'm going to guess 12.9 points.
I was going to say 13. That's funny. Yeah.
I like the points.
You just got to be different. You got to say 12.9. Why don't you round up or round down?
Even if you read a stat and it says and the averages aren't, if it's 13.0, like that's clean. That's nice.
That's how I like it.
Like that. Come on.
I ain't gonna lie.
Staffing.
That's what I like. All right. Good game for Tobias, man. Good game, Uncle T, for sure. We needed it. All right, boss. Let's move on to JD. Jalen Duren, the newest unofficial Detroit Pistons All-Star, cover of Slam Magazine. Celebrity out here doing big things. I love it. Paying homage to Ben Wallace with the wristband or the armbands in his picture. He talked about that before the game, how he wouldn't want to pay homage to Ben Wallace. That's why he had him on. I thought that was dope. By the way, Ben Wallace was in the building tonight for this game as well, guy. Wallace. Shout out to Mason. He was in the building. I'm glad they got a win for him. I'm glad they kind of did it in this fashion too. It's kind of an old school kind of game. Okay.
We sold them short.
See, you should have just rounded up. It was right there. I'll take that one. But what were your thoughts tonight on JD?
Oh my gosh. Well, he played just great.
Hold on, my bad. I didn't read the stats yet. I'm tripping. Let me read the stats off to you first. 16 points, 8 for 13 overall, 0 for 1 from the free throw line, 18 boards, boss. 2 assists, 1 turnover, and 2 blocks, boss. 2 blocks. In 28 minutes. Okay, go ahead. Take off.
Look, I know I didn't realize that he had 18 rebounds. I had a buddy reach out to me and say that, he's into parlay, and he's like, I never would have the guts to bet on 18 rebounds. I was like, who had 18 rebounds? Was it Goodwin for the Suns? The Sixers?
Quietly.
I was like, no, it's Duren. I'm like, oh, I'm watching this game. And it's, his presence was just totally known. And for me, the reason he's, obviously besides having a double-double of 18 rebounds and 16 points, was that he was just consistent the entire game.
Yes.
Like he didn't waver. In the first minute, I didn't have a lot of notes on him because, again, he was just mostly his presence. I was able to get the ball to him and everything. Make sure he got his shots off, great rebounds. In the first minute of the game, he had a block, a defensive rebound, and then he had to add 1 opportunity in the first minute. And that was 100%. The same. And I remember Paul Reed had the same thing last game that he played in the first minute. I just remember I was like, I feel like I'm writing this down again, but now for someone different. So appreciated the effort of Duren just going, all out in his minutes, using them wisely. Yeah, they couldn't stop him. Not when he got to the paint, 16 points on a guy that, basically realized that the rim is huge. Right. And then the fourth, he just had a huge block, to just make sure that we kept our lead and had opportunity for more points. I think that is when Cade got fouled though and didn't convert on free throws, but he still gave us the ball back for possession. Just important stuff, especially on a night that's, there to honor him, the slam night. This is a great game from Duren. I say he's going to average 20-10. I think he's averaging 17.4 points, I think, right now, and then 10.6 rebounds, 10 point something rebounds. So he's at the 10, but I think he can average 20-10. I mean, tonight, 16-18, that's incredible.
Yes.
He rebounded with authority tonight, something I know.
Yeah, he did.
I've gotten on him in the past just for ending the game with less rebounds because he didn't let guys take it away. And this is a very handsy Suns team.
Right.
turnovers that he had. He only had 1 turnover, and he was in the paint getting those. That's really impressive. So
it is.
Shout out to JD. I know a lot of you guys voted him for belt too because of that performance.
Yeah, rightfully so. I ain't mad at y'all. Phantom of Darkness says Duren grabbed 18 rebounds to hype Ben Wallace up. I love it. Yeah, I hope he was motivated for sure. Like anytime you got Ben sitting there, front row, right under the hoop, yeah, that's all the motivation you need, right? But yeah, I think he could do that consistently for sure. Charles says he proves he can hit that midi. Yeah, I agree with that, man. His game. That's one thing JB said pregame is that he's starting to unleash and realize his potential.
Yeah,
he's starting to get there. He's starting to make that jump. And we're seeing it more consistently now. I think that's the biggest thing is that we're seeing a consistent boss. You mentioned it. Energy off the charts.
Yeah.
Energy just off the charts. He was everywhere. Everywhere. He was crashing the offensive glass. He gave us so many second chance possessions, right?
Yeah.
Just being big down there.
Yeah.
You know, Mark Williams is tall, but he's not as strong as JD. When JD wants to, he can kind of bully him a little bit. He's just bigger and stronger. And he did. He took advantage of that matchup, man. Yes, J Moke says if Duren could consistently hit that midi, we probably wouldn't need number 2. I still think we would as far as a scorer, because we still need JD to be that presence defensively that he has been. Right. I still want the focus for him to be on that end of the court.
Yeah.
And rebounding the basketball at a high level.
He is doing it more though. He looks more confident. He is on offense that way.
He is. I got to give him a lot of credit, man, because he was great. You mentioned that he had 2 points and 6 boards in the first 4 minutes of the game. Like he was he was on one.
Nuts.
And that did you guys see that fadeaway jumper?
Yeah.
It looks from the corner. It looks so smooth.
Well,
so smooth.
When he's confident like that, and he's like, okay, it's just another weapon to have, because he tries to get to the rim, and if they're not letting him, I'm like, all right, fine, I'll just pull up.
Right.
You know? That's something that you didn't do a year ago. So
I will say this: he did have a lapse or two, and Ethan pointed this out too, where I mentioned earlier how sometimes the transition defense wasn't there, right? One time, it looked like Cade tried to hit the pick and roll lob to him, and they read it, and they took it away, and JD like kind of just hung on the rim for a second, like he was frustrated.
Yeah.
Guess who scored the bucket? Mark Williams.
Yeah.
In transition, and JD was trying to catch up, but by that time it was too late. And he knew it. He put his hand up, said, "My bad." Right? Yeah. That used to happen a lot. That used to happen a lot. That used to happen routinely, right? And it was just an effort thing, an awareness thing. And now that happens less and less and less. So if it happens every once in a while, okay, which it is right now, because he's usually engaged and aware and getting back and sprinting back defensively, not just offensively anymore, because we would see that. The energy would be there offensively, and then we'll kind of fade defensively, and then we get the ball back. Here he comes again. Like, that's not happening no more, JD.
Yeah, no.
That's not the case. But Ethan, you are right. I did notice that, but it's just good to see it's happening much less than it was before.
It's happening less, and he's fixing it, and also holding other guys accountable. Like, the way that they're just approaching defense this year is to hold each other accountable for their mistakes. Yep. So you're going to see him, at least, I don't know if anyone caught the clip of Cat last night. Did you see, not to.
Oh my Lord. Yes, I saw that. Go ahead.
Cat stayed down the court for 10 seconds. And if he had hustled up, he would have gotten the loose ball that they knocked away, but he didn't. He stayed on the floor for 10 seconds.
That was crazy.
And that's just something that if JD did that, I don't know what JB would do.
Yeah. I'll tell you this: the camera would not pan to them.
Yeah.
At all. No. They would. No. I mean, the camera would not. Go ahead.
He'd be immediately checked out, but but again, it's just to go to like the lapses were there, but it's the fact that they recognize it and then they just try not to make that mistake again. That's huge, because there's a lot of you hear complaints about other bigs too in the league. DeAndre Ayton is one of them. Like, you hear complaints about some bigs that should just
Did you see LeBron staring at Ayton from the bench?
Yeah, but LeBron is also just someone I'm just like, I mean, it's LeBron, but
I'm 41, like, so Ayton ain't got no excuse.
No, exactly. Truly. Both of them, that center, that's a center mess. Jackson Hayes and DeAndre and the Lakers. But regardless, the difference is, Duren has done a really good job about taking accountability for his mistakes starting last year and this year too. And again, you can't really, he can point it out, you can fault him for it, but to go get 16 points and 18 boards is nuts.
Yeah. So. 100%. Tara says last season fans wanted JD to be traded. Yes, 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 and that's something we always talk about
For
here on the
Claxton or
Downtown Dudes
Hayes.
show with the boss. Right? We talk about the players to exhaustion. I'm not going to go into it again, but you guys get it. It's not always linear for these guys as far as their progression, and it doesn't always happen at the same time. It's not like, okay, 3 or 4 months they're going to hit that switch. No, it's different for every player. First of all, because they play different positions, but second of all, because they're different people.
Yeah,
it's not always linear. So you can't expect everybody to progress the same way, and you shouldn't expect that, especially when Trajan Langdon is saying that he's going to give them time to do so.
Well, and different.
And this is why. Go ahead, boss.
Different goals. I mean, imagine if Cat didn't shoot threes, that man would be out of a job. But Duren, we don't expect him to shoot threes. We just expect him to, be a big guy in the paint for us. So it's just like you said, different people, different goals. It's not linear. I'm just super impressed with his progress, the jump that he's made in such a short time. Right. And we know that he can do even more because the fact that he was, again, with some of the slip ups tonight, was a little bit angry at that. There's going to be games where he never lets that happen again. Kind of like how Stu tonight went up for some blocks that, were a little late, but he's still going to do it because that's what his emphasis on his game is blocks. So
protect the rim, contest. Right. Exactly. And you better have my back when I do. Right. Yeah. Which has gotten better, which we'll get to a little bit later. But yeah, for sure. I thought JD was amazing. Yes. Amazing tonight, man. If he brings that effort, he's going to fall into double doubles.
Oh, yeah.
Just because of how gifted he is already, just naturally. It's going to come easy for him.
I mean, I've said that he can be 20-10, and I meant that at points, rebounds, but he can also be a 10-point, 20 rebound guy. So, he'll get 20-10s eventually.
Right. Exactly. So, and the ball's going to find him. Like, Cade's, that's the thing. Cade's going to make sure he is rewarding his big man for his effort.
Right.
That's the beauty of having a point guard who's aware and knows his teammates.
And he
knows how to put that battery in their back.
Absolutely. And I just want to say too, tonight, we've talked about how they kind of stopped our paint game and they were giving us trouble in the paint. So again, for us to have kind of an off night and not that, and JD still produced like that, he was our paint game. And we needed him for that when other guys couldn't get it, including guys like Stu, so this just, again, going against, this is the first team I think that has matched us defensively. I would say Boston too, but the Suns just in their physicality and the way that they really just deny some things, they matched us pretty well, and Duren lived up to
they're physical and they're disruptive.
Yes,
they're very disruptive. Like you can tell they do play pretty good team defense. Aside from the shenanigans, they're linked pretty well on a string defensively. They communicate, they trust each other, they know where they're supposed to be. So I want to give them credit. Aside from the shenanigans and all of the dirty play at times, I do think it was a tough defense to try to figure out. And I think that kind of contributed to the tough shooting. But once again, the Pistons figured it out. And I think JD was a huge part of that. Charles says, I was on that train of trading JD. I'm eating crow. Oh, God. Hey, shout out to you for calling it out, bro.
Accountability, man.
Everybody don't do that.
Integrity, accountability. Now, when you come in the chat and be like, this guy, he'll say stuff, but I know that he'll back it up or he'll admit he's wrong. One thing we won't do here is I told you so if you've already told yourself and told us. Well, I mean, right? I'll say
so we respect when we will shout you out when you call yourself out, because we call ourselves out all the time. We're wrong about a lot of things at times, right? So it's just like, we respect that, and we will always shout you out when you do that for sure. That's what it's about. All right, great game from JD overall, man. I love it. Okay, boss, let's go ahead and get to some reserves.
Okay.
Let's start tonight with who we want to start with tonight. Let's start tonight, boss. Let's start with Caris LeVert. Caris LeVert tonight. Say what?
Speaking of eating crow. Just kidding.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Tonight, guys, Caris LeVert had 2 points, 1-for-1 shooting overall, 3 boards, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals in 16 minutes, boss. What were your thoughts? What did you see from Caris tonight?
Caris. His turnovers were just egregious.
Yeah.
They didn't happen at like terrible times, which I appreciate. They kind of happened when one was early and one was a little bit later on. But I guess we were kind of trying to build momentum. Those are just bad because they're just bad passes, straight up bad passes.
Yeah.
He got that bucket out of the timeout for us. I thought, he was getting boards. He had great defense on Dillon Brooks. He had great defense.
He was solid defensively. I got to agree with you there.
Yeah. The defense is where, just like we give Ausar props for defense, I think Caris LeVert is very good on defense. He's a little bit unsung because he kind of goes unnoticed because he's usually on ball. he either doesn't let his guy get the ball or he forces them to give it up. He had 2 steals. He also caused a couple turnovers. He made Isaiah Livers step out of bounds by being there, by getting back on transition D and being right in front of him. So he couldn't get that 3. Like, there were some highlights. But overall, I would have rather see Jenkins in. I would have rather see Daniss Jenkins get his minutes tonight. I think Daniss, especially in his short time, proved why he should. I think LeVert, again, and I get it if people don't necessarily see this, but I do think LeVert was out there for the perimeter defense. So that is why I think he was out there. But overall, the turnovers are just egregious. Otherwise, it's just not a stat line I want to see from a guy playing 16 minutes. I appreciate the 2 steals and the 3 rebounds, 3 assists. I appreciate that from him. But if you're going to play 16 minutes, Daniss played 6 minutes and got 5 points and 3 assists and a steal and a block. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And you guys know that I've always been an advocate for LeVert. I thought he would be huge for this team. I stick by that. I think he plays great defense, and I think he helps us on defensive possessions, especially on the perimeter. But tonight, I would have rather have seen Daniss out there.
I agree. I don't understand why Masha Yashara, LA Phoenix, I got it right, I think, says, I don't understand why we couldn't keep THJ instead of picking up Caris. That's a good question. I don't know why either.
I will say,
okay,
they did come out and they said that everything was offered to them. THJ talked about how he wanted to go to a contender. He's getting older. Not saying that he didn't think the Pistons were going to be a contender, but he came to the Nuggets for a reason. I think we could have retained him if we offered him more money. Maybe.
Okay.
But
do you think 16 million would have brought him here? I think Caris is getting 16 a year, right? Is it 16 or
probably, maybe
14? One of those.
Maybe he would have stayed. Maybe. I just know that he had said that he was excited to play for Denver because he wanted to play. I think it was more mutual separation, but I can't say that more money would have caused him to stay. He is having, I think I sent you the stat. He has the best mid-range percentage in the league right now, 62%.
Wow, he's balling over there in Denver, man.
He's balling in Denver, and they love him here, which makes me happy too. But I think, because I was thinking about that also, but I'm pretty sure in the preseason they discussed how they, it wasn't. I think they offered THJ to stay, but I don't know for how much. So I don't know those details. But I also know that THJ himself also said that he was just looking to contend for a title, and maybe he just thought that the Pistons were 1 or 2 years removed from that.
I mean, he wouldn't be wrong in that thinking, because I don't think anybody saw us doing what they're doing right now. Maybe they did in the locker room, right? Yeah. I wouldn't doubt that. But I think most of us here, we probably had him top 4 for sure. I think I had him 3. I had him 3 going into this year.
I had him. I just know I had him 3. I think I had him 2 because I had the Cavs above us. I predicted that the Knicks would go through this with a new coach.
Okay.
But I had them at 2, but still not at this point and for this long and number 1,
Right. I agree with you for sure. Yeah. I mean, so I want to get to this comment here. Kevin says, nice defensive play to knock the ball away, stopping a fast break on the Phoenix end, immediately followed by a good find of Ivey as the trailer on the break for a key 3 when the Pistons were down 3. That was a big play. That was a big play. He had good individual plays in this game. Right. But I felt as a whole, I don't think he did enough to warrant 16 minutes when you have other guys who were playing well. It's not just how many he got us. It's when you look around and see who didn't get them.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
But it's something we were going to pay attention to this game because, again, we've kind of said that the injuries are kind of a blessing in disguise because there's no need to worry about lineup. But I was disappointed that we only saw Jenkins in the second. I think he deserved some minutes.
There was a few players that we'll talk about that played well that we thought should have got more minutes. We'll come back to that. What's going on, Devin? Appreciate you as always, my brother. Caris, man. Yeah, I thought we were going to get more from him as far as being a ball handler and being able to make plays. I did. It really hasn't transpired that way, especially in late game situations. Yeah. When we've talked about it, boss, you want to see your vets be under control and make good plays and things like that. It was a few times he just got caught in no man's land where he was just in the paint, picked up his dribble and just looking to get the pass, so he can get out of the paint and not get caught for 3 seconds. Like, and then another pass he had in transition where he just threw it right to the defender when he thought Cade was open and was not. It was nothing there. Like if anything, you gotta float that up. But even in that situation, it probably still wouldn't have got there because they were attached. Like I said, their transition defense was good in this game. So that was just a bad pass. I don't think he played well enough to get 16 minutes.
I agree.
Right?
Agreed.
You just being honest. Like nothing against Caris. I think he's had his moments, but I don't think this was a good game for him. So
he's playing good defense, but like you said, it's not when he's playing defense, he's either not playing. You can't play good defense and then play poor offense. Like you can play good defense and then not contribute necessarily on offense, but you can't play good defense and then cause your offense to stall by turning it over, or like you said, or stopping the paint and needing everyone to shift to get open, kind of shifting the dynamic to play. But
I think that was the biggest difference. People are saying THJ. I think that was the biggest difference last year is like when THJ wasn't knocking down shots, he was still giving you defense, but he wasn't turning the ball over. He wasn't hurting you with anything other than just not shooting it well. That would usually be the only way he was hurting you is if he wasn't shooting the ball well, right? Because he knew his role, he played it well. I think defensively they are similar. Like they're not gonna pick your pocket like Ron does and take it down for a jam. They're going to either deny you the ball, they're going to be up into you, they're going to force you to take a tough shot. They're going to hit singles, not home runs.
Well,
right?
LeVert did cause, a couple. He did steal it twice, and he did cause a couple turnovers.
Did he have 2 steals?
Yeah, 2 steals. He had 2 steals, and then he caused a Isaiah LeVert turnover. Like I do think that he is a little bit disruptive in his body movements and stuff like that. Okay. So I would say he's like you said, THJ does play good. Caris LeVert is the better defender, and THJ is the better offender, and they both can do good things on the other side. But like me and you were saying, we both kind of predicted and hoped that LeVert coming to this team would be average a 12 to 14 point game because I know that he does have that mid-range shot. I know that he does have these things. So, and there's kind of just no excuses at this point. I know we said that he wasn't playing back to backs. He was in and out, all these things. And so again, I really appreciate his defense. But when we're trying to come back from a deficit, it's hard for him to be out there. And like that's when, again, I want someone like Daniss or even someone like Sass. I know he's small, but he can shoot.
6'3".
And he causes turnovers. Yep. I mean, Goodwin tonight, he's 6'3". He got 12 rebounds for the Suns.
Yeah.
Not really gonna expect that from Sass, but Sass causes steals too. If Sass is out there for 16 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised if he also racked up 2 steals and no turnovers. So yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at. And I think a lot of people have said maybe JB, it is becoming kind of a question at this point of like, why is LeVert getting some minutes over these guys when everyone is healthy? Because when guys are out, the guys like Jenkins and Sass are getting those, like they're proving that they can get it done with big minutes too.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what Tara's saying. Do you think JB has loyalty to the vets regardless of how they're playing? It's the only thing that explains Caris. I think we've had a big enough sample size too to kind of see how it looks. I know there's still a lot of time left to go. We're preaching patience, but
we're almost halfway.
We just haven't seen enough consistency pretty much during any stretch of games with him where it's like, okay, you have confidence and you're comfortable when he comes into the game to not hurt you. Yeah. Right. So that's the biggest thing for me. Mm-hmm. It seems like that's the biggest thing for you guys too. So we'll see, man. We'll see how it plays out, but there are definitely some other guys on this team who I think have earned a bigger role. So it's something to keep an eye on with him. So yeah, we'll leave it there with Caris.
And I will just say real quick, the next stretch of 6-7 games, it's every other day for a while. We don't have another long break. Yeah. So maybe to the benefit, that some guys that didn't get big minutes tonight, they'll be ready to go for a little longer next game, even though you should be ready to play for as many minutes as possible in games. Yeah. But that is kind of a benefit thing too, that Daniss and Sass didn't get minutes, that they'll be a little bit more fresh in 2 days.
Exactly. That's true. Something to keep an eye on. All right. Yeah. Let's keep it moving, boss. Let's go to JI. Let's go to JI, man. Jaden Ivey, guys. Tonight, guys, Jaden Ivey had 15 points on 6 for 8 overall, 3 of 5 from 3, 2 boards, 1 assist, 2 turnovers in 17 minutes, boss. Take off on JI, man.
Look, NBA Instagram page posted his crossover bucket.
Ooh, that was nice.
Highlight. And that just goes to show just kind of the respect he has, I think, among the league. A lot of people know who Jaden Ivey is, and even some of our fan base can forget what he does.
Mhm.
He looked great. And to me, he like, you know, he didn't even like, he looked like himself. He was moving, but I've seen him, you know, sprinting. Like, I don't know. He didn't look 100% himself tonight. I don't know. But like, he was hitting his shots, and that's all I can ask for. Started the game 3 of 4 in the first. He had his first 3 attempts. He hit that first shot, the crossovers. He made big shots in the third. He was just moving so well without the basketball. I think what's glaring here is the 1 assist, because we didn't ask him to be a ball handler. We didn't ask him to run the offense tonight. And he didn't play a lot with Cade. I was really hoping he got more minutes with Cade. He didn't play a ton with minutes with Cade. He was more in that second unit when they had guys like LeVert, and even Jenkins was out there with him at times to bring it up. But he just really found his shot. You can tell he was trying to get by some guys. You can tell that he was, you know, figuring out when he was dribbling and handling, figuring out if he can get by them, or else he'd pull up and make the shot. He was making his threes. He was making good plays. He was making good decisions tonight. And so it just really just made me happy, because he has been doing well and then kind of going down. And I mean, I wish we saw more of him. We didn't see him, I think, at all in the second. But again, with especially the way that he took advantage of these minutes and stayed hot, even though he, you know, played in the first and we didn't see him again until the third, he, again, I think earned that. He earned the, like, hey, like, put me in regularly. And so now I am just, you know, we talked about there is no minutes restriction. He shouldn't be getting just 17 minutes. No way. So but basically where I'm at with Ivy is I'm just so happy that he showed up and showed out. He proved, if any of his haters were watching, he showed you where he can shoot, and it's everywhere.
He's always been able to do that, though. This is nothing new.
Yeah.
But all right, man, you can take these off. And I know the comments about to be buzzing, but he's not. Okay, look, he's not there yet, right? He is not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
But tonight he looked about as close as I can remember we saw last year.
Mm-hmm.
About as close as I can remember. 8 points in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was easy. It was easy. The burst is coming back. It's not still there yet, but you could still see him. His penetration was there a lot more. Yes, Frank. Just Devin. It was there. It's They say he lost a step, right? He hasn't. It's his body is going to be just fine. I'm not worried about that at all. The burst is coming back. The ball handling, you mentioned, ball step move that he made was ridiculous. Dribble drive to the left, cross it back behind his back to the right, step back, jumper, swish.
Yeah.
All-star move. All-star level move. Yeah. That's high level stuff right there. Everybody can't do that.
No.
Everybody can't do that. And the shot making was there. 2-3 balls in the first quarter. And one thing, like Pistons fans have been saying that, like, has he lost us? He can't get by his guy. He can't get by his guy. His burst. He was doing it tonight.
That's crazy.
With ease.
Wait, that's insane. I mean, I haven't heard. Again, I stay off of the toxic spaces where people just feel the need they need to say this stuff. But to say that J.I. cannot get past his guy is bonkers. Bonkers.
But like we've been saying, patience.
Yeah.
Patience. This is all he's needed is patience. And he's going to continue to need more patience as he continues to get back to where he was when he played basketball consistently, which was over 10 months ago. Before he came back this year, it had been 10 months.
Yeah.
10 months. It was like 8 for a start the year before. We saw how long it took him to get back to the version that he became playoff time. Same thing, except 2 months longer in a totally different situation. He broke his leg, bro. He broke it. How many of you guys have broken your leg before?
Yeah.
I haven't. I know people who have.
Right? Because it wasn't just bones, it was ligaments too. Like,
yes.
It was
and then he had to have another procedure after that.
On the knee. Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, this is what we're saying. This is just one game, right? We got to see more. But you can see what's coming, bro. Like, if you watched him tonight, you can see that he's, and mentally too, he's not thinking as much. He's just playing.
What do you think about this comment?
Michael says, Amari asked JB about Ivy. Didn't seem like there was any ambition to play him more anytime soon. So
I have to see the interview too to see if I get the same vibes.
Well, what he was saying was basically that they are just taking it game by game. Whoever has the hot hand, and it's just nice to have a deep team and things like that. He really, I won't say he didn't address it, but he didn't kind of answer it head on to say, well, the reason he's playing X amount of minutes is because, right, he didn't kind of answer it like that. I won't say he sidestepped it, but he could have he didn't give a truly direct answer,
Yeah.
right? Not specific answer about it. So I did notice that too, Michael. But I'm gonna tell y'all, man, he had a great first quarter, maybe the best first quarter of the season for him, right? Yeah, man. Like I had to get serious for a second, Devin. But unfortunately, in the second quarter, boss, Jaden didn't do anything. No points, no rebounds, no assists, no blocks, no steals, no nothing. But guess what? He also didn't have any minutes.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, did he even play?
He didn't play 1 second in the second quarter.
So weird.
After having one of the best first quarters I've seen him play all year. I don't understand that. Boss, last time I checked, he's not under minute restriction anymore, right? Right. Okay. He confirmed that a few days ago.
Yeah.
And on top of that, boss, like, it wasn't just the second quarter. He didn't come in again until 3 minutes left in the third quarter. That's 21 straight NBA minutes of no JI after he had the best first quarter of his career or of this season. 21 straight minutes. And when he came back in, once again, he came in with Caris. And I was like, why not put Daniss with him or Cade or a point guard? Didn't happen. But even despite that, right, he came in and again gave the Pistons another boost. Like all the minutes for the most, he had a couple of, like 1 or 2 turnovers that were not the greatest. Okay, fine. But overall, he looked great tonight. And every time he came into the game, when he left, he had a positive impact on the game on both sides of the ball. You weren't seeing guys knocking down a bunch of threes on him.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting out there. He was denying the shot. And when they would try to pump, fake, pass, and move, he was attached right there.
He had great defense, yeah.
So on both sides of the ball, he played very, very. Everybody's talking about the shooting and the scoring. The 17 points in 15 minutes, 15 points in 17 minutes. Yes. 15. Efficiency, yes. But defensively too, man. Defensively, he was not giving up those long bombs to Gillespie and to Grayson Allen the way that other guys were giving it to him. Just saying. He wasn't doing that. So on both sides of the ball, he was great. Great. So that was what was confusing. Because I could see if he was struggling, right? Where he's just having struggle nation game. He can't get it going. Okay, come take a seat. Let's talk about it. Let's figure things out. We'll put you back in later in the game. But he was playing great.
Well, that's like what Chris says here. We are so deep, it's hard to give everybody guaranteed minutes. Yeah, that's true. But we've been wanting this for J.I. J.I. should get 20 minutes now. And again, the last few games, we could argue, he didn't come back in because he wasn't hot right away. He was hot right away.
Right away.
And they didn't put him back in. And again,
especially when we're talking about him potentially and probably going to be the starting 2 going forward for this team.
Yeah. I mean, They got their biggest, they stayed 15 points ahead of us the entire second. And that was without J.I. shooting on the court.
He went in the game.
Yeah. And so you'd have to think, again, maybe coach, again, like Chris mentioned, there's a lot of guys, maybe he kind of had a preset idea of how he was going to play this game and just wanted to adjust it at the end of the game. Who knows? But hopefully this wakes coach up of like, there's just kind of no reason because we want to see it. The fans want to see it. He looks like this. We wanted to see more of it tonight. Now I'm hoping to see more of it on Saturday. Mm-hmm. But like you said, to me, it's just confusing because that's just where we've been working for this. Yeah. We've been wanting J.I. to get ready and healthy, and he looked good. And again, like we mentioned earlier, like a couple of guys, Kevin, other people in chat mentioned, like he looked great and shots were falling, and he didn't even still look like 100%. Like there was something
not there yet.
Was a little bit off. I think to me it was just more like his rhythm. Like he was finding his shots, but usually just a little bit more speedy. I mean, they zoomed in on him in the third. He wasn't even breaking a sweat.
Nope. That's all I said. It's easy.
Yeah.
It was easy for him. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, this is what he can do, man. This is what he can do.
I'm going to watch the post game because I wonder if anyone just, brought it up because he did have a great night. He's on our list for the belt. Imagine what he could have done with 5 more minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Brandon says, and I was thinking this too. He says maybe they're saving Ivy so he can be ready for the playoffs. That's probably when he starts next to Cade. I could see it. By the way, nice profile picture there, bro. It's dope. I was thinking that too. But the thing is, like, left. You don't want to just drop him in you want him to gradually get there. You want to see that incremental increase in his minutes. Mm-hmm. So that way, by the time he gets to the playoffs, he's used to playing alongside Cade. They have that chemistry there, right? That's important. They still haven't had a lot of time as a starting unit. And this is year 4 of them on the same team.
Yeah.
And they still haven't played I don't even think a full season worth of games as a starting group. So it's like, if these are the guys you're going to go with, this is the young core you're going to go with. I'm not trying to wait until the playoffs. I'm not trying to save him for the playoffs. Like if they're doing it for health reasons, okay, but they've already said he's not on restriction. So with that being the case, he's producing like this, I'm just confused as to why you're not getting him these reps with these guys now, considering how much time he's missed and already has to catch up.
Yep.
It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Coach knows better than I do. I don't know what goes on in the locker room. But either way, I just feel like he needs the reps consistently with these guys so they can be primed and ready for that playoff run that we're all waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just not getting it right now. And I really just don't know why. So
and
either way, he played great.
Why wouldn't Ivey's confidence be shaky when stuff like tonight happens? Exactly. I agree with that.
Considering what he had to go through before JB got here with Monty. Like, I'm not trying to mess with his confidence anymore. He's had that enough for a career's worth. like between that season and between having to miss an entire year while all your other guys are kind of like, catching up and moving on to that next gear as a team, I'm trying to give him as much confidence as physically possible.
Yeah.
Physically and mentally.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm just like, why? Once again, if he wasn't playing well, I would understand it. If he felt like he wasn't ready for it, too much on his plate, I would understand it. But when he's going like this, when we've been waiting for him to have a game that starts off like this, because we were saying about we were waiting for him to have a game where he just puts it all together.
Yep. Right.
And he was on that pace to do that.
Yeah.
And to not play him.
Yeah.
I was confused. I don't know, man.
I kind of think Saturday we have the Pacers, I believe. And gosh, I think he would be. So what I'm kind of hoping for tonight is that JB saw this. Again, I don't understand. We could have just played him more tonight, but he would be he would be who I want the most minutes going against a guy like Nembhard, Neesmith, McConnell, Siakam. These are guys that could
Mathurin,
move.
And he playing over there too?
Yes. Oh my gosh, Mathurin, Ivey, fun. That started in summer league, right? Their little beef. But I like the way that J.I. ball handles in his game, like it can keep up with theirs. Like they're all young, fluid players who can make all types of shots. And so that's what I would hope gets, I hope that, he gets 25 minutes then the next game against them, because the way he played tonight against a Suns team that, they shoot threes. Yeah. And they play good defense. That's kind of what kept them in it. But the Pacers, their guys can do it all. Yeah. They're last in the East. They're not having a good season this year, but doesn't mean they don't have good players. Like these guys are still players that can give us problems. And I think J.I. would be huge against them. Like he's probably one of the guys I'd want most going against guys that they have. So
Yep. Well, Gary Leno says him and Cade barely play together. Can't drop him in like you said, Deuce. It's a setup for. Like you want your offense to be and your defense, but your offense to be a well-oiled machine going into the playoffs. The playoffs are about possessions. You can't turn the ball over in the playoffs and expect to win series, especially when teams make adjustments based around what they see you do in previous games. You want to have that offense rolling. You want to have that trust rolling. You want that to be there. And the only way to do that is to have reps.
Yeah.
It's the only way. Right. So that's the biggest thing for me. Like, it's not just him balling out in the regular season. It's him preparing for the playoffs. Yeah. So that these two are backcourt, which I still think is an all-star level backcourt, can be playing at its highest capacity at the right time.
And it personally has me, and again, we can move on from J.I. soon, but it does have me a little bit concerned about, is there rumors of a trade involving him? And that's why we're not getting him involved in our offense yet.
I hope not.
He's not be around. Exactly. I hope not either. I think he definitely, like Trajan has reiterated in the past, I think he definitely deserves his chance here, especially after his season was taken away from him. And he's, again, I have his jersey. He's my favorite player on the team right now. But then those questions, when it's so confusing as to why, then you got, I'm not assuming anything, but it makes me wonder, like, are they trying, like, is it not going to be something that they're going to utilize in the future? So they're just not utilizing it now. I don't know. Yeah,
they saving it. I don't know, man. I don't know. Chris says, I want Ivey to start, but like tonight, Duncan had 20 points. So he was supposed to not play. Great problem to have, but I wouldn't want that job. The biggest thing for me, bro, we talked about it, style of play. Style of play. I feel like what Duncan does as a starter, he can do off the bench.
And he did have a great game.
He did.
19 points.
But you guys know what I like, and who cares what I like, right? But we've talked about it. Like two-way guys, I need that first unit to get off to a good start. Dictate style of play. Show the other team right away how this game is going to go. We're going to impose our will on you. We're going to tire you out. It's going to be a long night for you because you're going to be chasing this up and down the court, and you're going to be turning the ball. Like I think the way he's playing defense now too, and the way he's shooting the ball. You got a two-way player in Cade, Jaden, Ausar's not there yet, but Tobias, if you want to put him in there, I still have Stu. But JD, like as many two-way players as you can have who play to the style, which is getting out in transition off of turnovers and defense. I love what Duncan brings, and he had a great game, but Jaden Ivey is better suited for that style of play. Mm-hmm. And in the playoffs, you need to play good defense. You have to play good team defense, individual defense. That's what wins championships. And I just think J.I. just fits that style better. That's why I'm willing to sacrifice Duncan's as a starter, right? Because of the style of play. That's what it comes down to for me more than anything, boss. And it's not like he's a bad shooter to where you're just losing a ton of shooting and swapping those two out. Like he can knock down shots. He's shown it. So that's just what I want to see.
Bees came off of our bench too. And I know we had THJ in the starting lineup, but Beasley came off of our bench and was our hot shooter. And he also got targeted on defense too. Like they're similar in that sense. So yeah, I mean, the thing is like, if Ivy's coming off the bench for now, fine, but play him 22 minutes off the bench. Like, what do you know?
Right. Even that. Yeah.
So, I know we talked a lot about JI, but
we'll leave it there. I was just really confused. I wanted to see what you guys had to say in the chat. I was really curious, man, about watching this game. So we appreciate that feedback, guys. Is what you guys thought. Maybe we're all right. Maybe we're all wrong. Who knows? But hopefully at some point we can see something on the court that gives us more clarity as to what's going on going forward. So we'll see. We'll leave it there. But either way, I thought J.I. played one of his better games tonight for sure. And I'm expecting to see more of that as we continue to move forward as he gets more reps. So we'll leave it there on J.I., guys. I know we went a little while on him, but we had to do it. Had to do it. All right. Let's keep it moving, boss. Let's go to Ron Holland. Tonight, guys, Ron Holland had 11 points on 3 for 6 shooting, 0 for 2 from 3, 5 for 9 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 5 turnovers, 1 steal in 21 minutes, boss. Take off on what you saw from Lil Ron Dog Jr.
Yeah, I think his turnovers are, again, mostly drives to the paint. They just really weren't letting us in there. But man, he got bullied tonight. He was getting hit, tossed, like pushed. Yeah. He's just so tough. I mean, almost a double-double in points and rebounds. That's insane. Again, we kind of compared him when we asked about the poll. I was like, what he brought in defense, the kind of momentum that Ivy brought in offense. Mm-hmm. Again, just takes advantage of his minutes. He had just nice and ones, just diving for loose balls, creating turnovers. Just getting, he had some crazy shots at the rim too. He made a few free throws, the steal. I mean, he made it hard. He made, again, he did a really good job on Grayson Allen, especially in the fourth, where they just really did not want him shoot. Obviously, we didn't want Grayson Allen shooting threes
for sure.
Back in the game because he can shoot from anywhere. Mm-hmm. And Ron made him give it up. He made him dribble in. He made him take the 2, which will take over a 3 in a close game scenario like that. He just played that very, very smartly and very intently. 9 and all his rebounds were defensive rebounds. That's crazy.
He was big in the glass for sure.
And 5 of 9 free throws. He doesn't usually get to the line that much. I'm not going to fault him too much because Cade was 4 of 9 tonight.
You got to be better than 5 for 9 though.
Yeah,
you got to be better than 5 for 9.
Agreed. But I just appreciate his defense tonight. I mean, just big shout out to Ron, especially because I was worried about Brooks getting under Stu's skin and Allen, which they kind of did towards the end, but Stu held together. I didn't really consider Ron. They sought Ron out. They probably, I'm sure Dylan Brooks's tape is just see who he can bully more.
Yep.
But I was proud of him for getting back up and going to the bench. And I saw Daniss talking him down like, hey, just it's not worth it. That's what he wants from you. He got some good experience with those vets tonight. Yeah, overall, loved his game as per usual. He just does Ron things. Always just 100%, 110% himself. So
yeah. He played well. Mm-hmm. There was definitely some room for improvement. He had some mistakes in there, but I thought overall he gave us a big boost. Just the energy. It's not always going to be perfect when you play as hard as he does. But I thought he came in and gave us a huge boost of energy in the second quarter onward. Second quarter onward, I thought he really got us out of the mud as well. Him and Jaden, I think, were really, really good in that second quarter or the first quarter. And then Ron just kind of carried it through, through the rest of the game. I liked how he ripped the ball away from Dillon Brooks. I liked how he was getting into Dillon Brooks. I liked how he was doing Dillon Brooks things to Dillon Brooks. Right?
Yeah, like not bullying, but antics. Yeah, true.
Yeah, I loved it. He wasn't dirty, nothing like that. That's just, Ron is Dillon Brooks without the dirty play, without the antics. Like, he's physical. He's going to get into you, make you uncomfortable, be an agitator, make you retaliate without playing dirty. That's Ron. He doesn't play dirty, but he can still frustrate you because he knows how to toe that line without being dirty. He's not a dirty player at all. It's a totally different thing, right?
No.
But it's just funny because Dillon Brooks got frustrated he took exception. That's why he kind of hit him in the face. Because when he took when you get the ball taken away from you like that, it feels disrespectful. It's not, but you feel disrespect. It's like somebody taking your toy away, right? Like, man, give my toy back. Like, that's what that feels like, and that's one of the things I mean. That's what Ron does. That's how he frustrates you. That's how he gets under your skin. But I want to give Ron credit because a year ago he would have went after Dillon Brooks.
Exactly.
He would have went after him or tried his best to get to him. The way he tried to get up and go at Cat last year, when Cat stepped on him when they both got up, he would have tried to do organic. Ron has matured quite a bit. The unconsolable crash outs aren't happening anymore. Exactly.
For me, what comes to mind is the DiVincenzo and the Naz Reid thing. That's when Ron was just because Ron wasn't even doing anything against them, but they were just talking, and that just set Ron off, and that's what led to that fight.
Right.
But he still had to be, he still had to be removed a little bit. I think that he might have maybe said something. Who knows? But
of course. He was. I mean, I was warranted to say something.
Well, he's like you said, he's matured, and even Kelser and them gave him the credits. Like he could have crashed out by now. Any normal guy would, because he was getting, hit. Like it was not an easy game for Ron Holland.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I definitely want to give him credit for keeping his emotions in check and not hurting his team. We saw last year at times he'd get a tag and it's like, come on, Ron, we don't need that right now, right? Yeah. But once again, him, Stu, like a lot of these guys have really matured and grown and not allowed themselves to get caught in the game within the game. Yeah. Exactly. Organic. What chain? Hey, organic. What chain? Yeah, what chain? Debo, exactly. Just took the ball away. Just took his chain, right? That hurts when it happens to you in a basketball court, right? Yeah. So I was just happy to see him do that. His turnovers, he got to work. He got to get those down, right? 5 turnovers is, I think he had 5 tonight, right? That's quite a bit. Yeah. Yes, he's a hustler, baby. Exactly, Chris. But yeah, I love what I saw from him, man. Just got to watch those turnovers. But once again, he was huge just with his energy, man. He changed the complexion of the game just with his attitude, with his swag. We just came in and just put his imprint on the game and said, while I'm in the game, you're going to feel me. You're going to feel me.
Yeah.
Right. So I love that about him for sure. Go ahead, boss.
Yeah. Just like, as we've said of him, like he is our spark. And someone mentioned it earlier too, just about thinking that Ron's better than Ausar. And in the last few games, I think he has been. But they're also different. They approach things differently, but we talked about this in the last thing. Like I would trust them both for defense on the perimeter in late minutes, but I just think Ron has just done a really good job of not that Ausar did this tonight, but he's not falling for pump fakes. He's not reaching in. He's not doing anything silly. And he's not as easy. They know him in the league, but everyone knows the Thompson twins, but he's still a little bit underrated that you don't realize that this kid is not going to let you get an easy shot off.
Ron sorry.
Ron.
Oh, Ron. Okay. Okay.
So Ron is just,
gotcha.
He got one foul. Was it him that got called for the foul when he was fighting through a screen, which was just ridiculous? Like Grayson Allen.
I think that was Daniss. Because Daniss came down and hit a 3-ball on his own, and then the very next play he drew offensive foul, getting over.
That was offensive, but Ron on a defensive foul, he was fighting through a screen. I think of Grayson Allen.
Okay.
And he fell to the ground. They both fell to the ground, and they called the foul on Ron.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
But it's because he's not gonna just let you get an easy. Like he's gonna chase you. He's gonna stay in front of you. So I think against certain people, like I think he did a better job on Grayson Allen tonight. than Ausar did.
He did.
But to say that
I don't know if I'll say this. I do feel like he's been more impactful.
Okay,
right. Like when Ausar goes out and Ron comes in, it's the energy just feels different.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's because he's entering the game as opposed to starting the game. So you get it that change. Ausar is starting, so he's not coming in for anybody. So it's
Right.
Who knows how it would look the other way around, right? If Ron started and then you got to start coming in being a defensive hawk, we gotta think about that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
He gets to come in for him, so you get to notice that change, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not to say that you guys are wrong. I'm just
Right.
saying it's something to keep in mind. If it were reversed, how would that look? But I've said before, I do think Ron is the better two-way player right now.
I think he's playing better defense as of late. Like in the past 5 game span, I would say Ron is playing better defense than Ausar. But overall, no.
I think Asar is a better defender.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. But I think Ron has just had a nice streak of great defensive games. That's kind of what I'll say. So
and I think he's just overall played better two-way basketball.
Yes.
For being honest, right? Just more consistently. You talked about earlier how Ron and Javonte, right, have when they come into the game, you know what they're going to do. And it's not so much with the start as of right now. I think Ron's just more consistent in the role. It seems like he knows his role and plays better to his role more consistently right now. So, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Heisenberg says Ron's defensive fundamentals have been better than Ausar for the past month. Okay. I'm not mad at that.
And then
I'm not mad at that.
I know Organic was agreeing with Tara. I think Ron is the aggression we want to see in Ausar.
I think that's the biggest thing.
Point that you just said is that we know what you're going to get with Ron Holland. And like I was saying earlier, with Ausar, you don't know what kind of game he's going to have yet because he hasn't been consistent. So, I mean, if some of that intensity, and not to say, I know Ausar is intense, he just kind of holds it in, I think. But if that intensity starts to rub off on Ausar a little bit, like that's dangerous as well. They both have obviously their strengths in different ways, but they're both extremely reliable on perimeter defense.
I feel like Ausar is more of a tactical defender.
Well,
Ron is just all out energy. He's learning for sure. It's not like he doesn't have any IQ defensively, but he just plays with a different physicality that I think just makes people uncomfortable.
But what's frustrating again with that and the technicality is like, to be technical, you have to be like kind of in the moment. I mean, Ausar has always been that way. Like this is his game. He's proven it. That's why we drafted him. But in the moment, I think Ron just plays ball and he plays it one possession. And he's just like, I'm just going to make sure this guy doesn't get past me. So he plays a little bit more physically and stuff in that sense. Where Ausar, again, maybe it's just a little bit in his head where he is thinking too much on both ends. And while he's still getting productive on the defensive end, if you're thinking too much and not just going with the flow of the game,
right. Last comment on that. We'll keep it moving. Michael says Ausar is literally defending the other team's best player every game. So we are being a little too anti. No, it's not anti-Ausar at all. But here's the thing. Like you look at games like the Lakers, when they all took turns guarding, Javonte too, all took turns guarding Luka. I felt like Ron did the best job. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's not even, just because Ausar starts doesn't mean that Ron is not going to guard the best guy in the other end at times either. Because you think about the best player on the other team is playing probably more minutes than anybody else on their team. So whether Ausar or Ron is in the game, they're both going to get their chances, right? So I don't really think it's that. I think it's just differences in how they play.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. I think they're both really good in their own way. It's a good problem to have for Coach JB. Yeah. And they're going to both keep getting better, and we'll see how that plays out over the season for sure.
Yeah.
So, all right. We'll leave it there, guys, on those two. And we'll go from 9 to 5, boss. And now we will go to Daniss Jenkins.
Okay.
Daniss Jenkins, guys, tonight plays 6 minutes, man. I had to start with that. I'm sorry. 6 minutes.
Oh, fair.
In those 6 minutes, he had 5 points, 1 for 1 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 3 assists, no turnovers, 1 steal, 1 block in 6 minutes, boss. This was the other guy we were saying we were a little bit perplexed by their minutes.
Yes.
I know it's a lot of guys, and we got a deep team, but I feel like at this point we kind of have an idea of what. Well, I feel that way. I'm before I even go, I'm gonna let you take off on Daniss. What did you see tonight from Daniss Jenkins, and I'll chime in after you.
Yeah, again, Jenkins has proven himself worthy of these minutes, and I think that's what's frustrating. Like even I believe in LeVert. I know he's a good defender. Jenkins is consistently proving himself for us. Where LeVert has fallen short of expectations for us. I mean, I had the notes in the second. He had that pull-up 3 that drew the offensive foul. He blocked
He had a block, right? Yeah.
Blocked Grayson Allen on a 3.
Grayson, right.
Yeah, and which led to a breakaway and the Tobias layup.
Right.
And I mean, again, no turnovers, 6 minutes. I thought for sure we were going to see him in the second half. I was like, okay, yeah, LeVert's in maybe for 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll see Jenkins. Why? And I get it. He's a two-way. This also kind of had me thinking, like, has he got enough, established to where teams want him, and he's in a package? So I was like, why?
There's no way.
I get it that LeVert, has a contract, all that stuff, but it's just at this point, it's like, no, like, and even when I saw him, because I remember texting you and being like, I want to see Jenkins in instead of LeVert. When he first came in, he was in with LeVert. I was like, okay, interesting. And we got to see him a little bit with Ivy, but then we didn't get to see him at all then. And he's been doing so consistently good that he deserves more minutes and time. And again, we talked about his 6 minutes when you have limited games to play until you have to go to a major contract.
Yeah.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. And to get in 6 minutes, 5 points and 3 assists and a steal and a block and no turnovers in 6 minutes.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And like I said, I know there's a lot of guys to play, but it's just like you say, boss. Like, I just want to see some consistency with the rotation soon.
And so all I have to really just say is, like, props to Jenkins. You did it. You showed up. You did what you were asked to do. Amazing. I wish we would have seen more of him.
And by the way, guys, these are questions we just don't have the answers to.
Yeah. It's hard.
This is what we're not saying, though. This has nothing to do with, we don't think that JB isn't the coach of the year or anything less than that. Because if he doesn't win it, it's a problem. Right? Yeah. It's just watching the game. Yeah. We're just trying to understand what he's thinking. Yeah. That's literally it. Right? We all watch basketball. We all watch the games. We see guys play well. We think they should play more. When they don't, it's we want to know why. That's fair. It's got nothing to do with running anybody out of town. Nothing like that. We know what Coach JB is and has done and will do. Ain't got nothing to do with that. But at the same time, we still want to know what's going on. That's just all it comes down to. So as far as what I saw from Daniss tonight, man, he was huge. He was a part of that spark that we talked about, right? You mentioned the plays that he made, but I just felt like he is just another spark plug. And once again, boss, he is somebody who can just come in and settle things down. Like, he has the ability to be a spark plug and to be steady. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of guys in the league who can do both, right? Who can make heady plays, who can create turnovers and do all these different things defensively. And then on the offensive end, slow it down when needed, settle the team down, get everybody on the same page, get everybody organized, get good shots, be efficient, don't miss any shots, don't turn the ball over. And then on defense, he's just going at you. Like, it's crazy. You don't see a lot of guys who can do that. That's a rare skill set. You don't see that a lot, right? So think about a Chauncey Billups, for example, one of the best point guards to ever come through here, right? He on offense, he does those same things we mentioned with Daniss Jenkins. As far as selling the offense down, you trust the ball in that man's hands. Yes. Every time down the court, right? But he just didn't naturally have the physical gifts to be that dog that Lindsey Hunter was on the defensive end. Yeah. I'm not saying Daniss Jenkins is what Chauncey was offensively. What I'm saying is that he has a lot of those same abilities while still being able to be a Lindsey Hunter type defender. Yes. There's not a lot of guys in the league who can do both at that level. So that's why we're confused about 6 minutes. That's all we're saying. So go ahead, boss.
That's where I'm at. Again, I praised LeVert's defense, but Jenkins can do both. And he proved that. In 15 minutes, Caris had 2 steals, super helpful. In 6 minutes, Daniss had 1 steal and 1 block. And he's making his baskets, and he's a great play caller. So again, I'm the last person to ever sell a guy short on this team. And I understand that it's hard. And we've talked about it. Like, when we're fully healthy, it's hard to get that. And I see some comments of like, well, if Daniss gets the minutes and Ivy doesn't, not necessarily. Daniss and Cade are point guards. Ivy is proving himself as the shooting guard this year off ball. They can both play off each other. I saw a comment earlier. I can't find it now, but Ivy and Daniss might be too small. Sure. But they also, the way that they're playing, tonight. And I think maybe you guys think they might be too small because we have Cade, who's a big point guard. He's big for a point guard. But
yeah,
they didn't get a lot of time together. I don't know. And again, like you said, Juice, that's just the most confusing thing is like Jenkins has proven himself on both sides of the ball, and he did that in 6 minutes again tonight. So that's the only reason why I'm just questioning. Like tonight, when we needed scoring to help us get out of a hole and to get a lead against the Suns, and we needed to keep the Suns from not shooting and forcing turnovers from them, I think Jenkins would have been better fitted.
Exactly. 100%. Like you think about, and yeah, like Daniss is not 6'1", bro. He's 6'3", 6'4". He's not that much shorter than Jaden Ivey. Yeah. Right. And we saw last year lineups with Schroeder and THJ, right? At times. Like Schroeder's 6'2", THJ 6'4", 6'5". Mm-hmm. That's what you have here. Daniss is 6'4" and JI is 6'4". 6'3", 6. So it's not any that much different size wise than what we had last year.
Yeah.
And this is the big difference. Ivy and Daniss are athletic enough to make up for the lack of height. They both play bigger than they are.
Yeah. And the off-ball movement with them on the court would be insane. Whoever's bringing it up, the other one's moving around to get open.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. So yeah, that's all, guys. We're just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right. We're not questioning anything with Coach. This is my man. I absolutely love JB Bickerstaff as a coach and the whole coaching staff. It's not even anything to do with that. I'm just trying to understand. Boss is just trying to understand. We're all just trying to understand. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially when we've used in the past that he's, benching guys that maybe don't start hot to give other guys. But when you've got two guys that were clearly hot and then they don't get the minutes.
Right.
Again, it's just clarity. And we're just speaking out loud. That's the whole point.
Exactly.
We're just talking our thoughts out loud. Yep. So again, just like I said for Ivy, I hope this just kind of means more minutes for him against the Pacers because that's another guy like him and Nembhard.
Yeah.
Nembhard is difficult to guard. He has great handles. He has great step backs. I can see Jenkins doing a great job and also just doing that exact same stuff to him on the other end. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Organic says DJ was not going to get clocked under Rick Pitino at St. John's if he couldn't play good defense. 100% correct, bro. Yeah. You know your history, bro. For sure. St. John's, Iona, wherever. He played at a few different colleges for sure. Shout out to Jeremy Hart getting us up to date with that. But yeah, 100%, bro. He fits his team. He fits his team very, very well. So yeah, even though he didn't play a lot, he did a lot. He did about as much as you could ask for in those 6 minutes. So shout out to him. And hopefully he, at some point, gets some consistent minutes because he's had stretches up and down this year where he's played really, really well and then not played a lot, played really, really well when given the opportunity again, and then not played a lot. I just want to see him get consistency.
Yeah.
For his sake.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it there on him. Go ahead, boss. Anything else on that?
Coach is going to be, I'm just looking forward to him. The last thing I want to see is him run out of games and goes back to the G League. Because I think we can really utilize him. I don't see that happening. But I'm just waiting for the announcement. Again, it might come at deadline, depending on what kind of moves we make, big or small or none. But I think, again, just reiterate that Coach has a very tough job and he's just figuring it out. I just hope that, he sees what we see. So you just hope that he's, and again, maybe he did have, especially coming in a big break and now having a game every other day. I think the next one or the one after is an away game. I know we have one away game, maybe the Pelicans, maybe only one or two away games.
Yeah, because next game is at home. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe he just comes in with an idea. He's like, well, on this night, we're going to give these guys minutes. I'm going to stick with it unless it goes terribly wrong. And tonight it got iffy, but it didn't go terribly wrong. So
we still got the dub.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Not even mad. By the way, I want to get to the super chat here before I forget. Doug says, crazy old man, sub your channel, Sarah. So you got a new subscriber. Make sure y'all go subscribe. We're going to be done with this soon, so y'all can get over there if you haven't already to go sub to boss. So for sure. So 2 more guys we're going to get to, and then we're going to call it a night. We have up next, boss. Let's go with Isaiah Stewart, guys. Tonight, Isaiah Stewart received his Defensive Player of the Month award. Shout out to Stu. There are plenty more of those in his future. I have no doubt about that. But shout out to him. And hopefully a few DPOYs in his future. The DPOMs are cool, but right. I know he's got some bigger fish to fry. But tonight in this game, guys, he had a quiet night. He had 4 points he shot over 2 from the field, over 2 from 3. Both of his shots were 3-pointers. 4 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 2 blocks in 22 minutes. So what did you see tonight from Stu? Kind of a weird game, I think.
Exactly. What I saw from him was effort on the perimeter. I think that he did a great job against some guys. They switched on him. it was the reason we weren't getting boards and why they were getting second point chances is because we had to guard them on the perimeter. That's where the Suns were hitting their shots.
Right.
So I think that's why we didn't see him down low so much. Obviously, when he was trying to get his shots down low, he was getting fouled, which is why he got those shots up. They just did a good job of defending him. The 2 blocks was huge. I know Allen and Brooks were getting under his skin. You saw them talking a bit there. But just like not a bad night. He didn't do anything costly. If you look at throws. If you look at it plus minus, he has the worst on the team, but that doesn't really matter again. And he did deter. So I don't think the one towards the end, Grayson Allen, a couple guys went at him and he necessarily blocked it, but they were off. They were way off on the free throws. He disrupted.
Yeah, he's very disruptive.
It's known. And again, some of his he went up for some shots. He went up for blocks, even if he was late. He just made sure that they knew that if they were going to go at the rim while he was out there, they were going to have to work hard for it. So he still put out his effort. Coming off that great game that he had the other night with his season high. Not mad at all about what I saw from Stu. I didn't necessarily see any mistakes other than, again, just not being at the rim for certain shots, but it was because he was trusted to help guard on the perimeter. So that's where I'm at with Stu.
Do me a favor again, because people are asking again, boss, if you can put your YouTube tag in the chat again. You basically just tonight. Everybody asking for it. I love it. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
It's basically just watch this again, but it's the same on Instagram and Twitter as well. And I'm going to start to post more. There's so many great creators out there already. I'm not sure what to post. I may have to grab my charger. My computer is dying, so just somewhere I might have to grab my charger real quick.
I think that's a sign that we gotta wrap up soon.
Yeah, I know. I was like, it's coming.
I want to get this comment in too. Ethan says, I'll say it again. People confuse criticism for hate. If y'all weren't critical, I wouldn't watch because the information would have the value of watching the Pistons hype video. We just try to be honest, right? We just try to kind of echo what we feel you guys are thinking, and you guys give us some of your own thoughts, right? So that's what it's about. That's what it's about for sure. We appreciate that for sure. All right. I thought this is a weird game for Stu. I think he made some good points about the defensive scheme, and he was kind of get pulled out of the paint a lot. Mm-hmm. I did think they did a good job, did the Pistons, of helping him on his backside whenever he was at the rim. I saw a few times when he would go to contest at the rim. Ron was right there. Ron was right there to help the helper to get in there and to either contest the shot that was taken by Stu's man or to just go crash the glass and grab the rebound and finish the possession. So I love what I saw there. I thought Stu did a good job of just protecting the paint, even though he didn't have a ton of blocks per use. Like you mentioned, the game plan was different. Organic says Stu was the only one not practicing free throws.
He's got it.
Oh, he's good. He's good, man. Yeah, I definitely
for sure.
Yeah, this wasn't a high output box score game for him, but I thought he was solid in the paint. He was a presence. He was a presence tonight. Complex says, nope, not tonight, bro. I took my glasses off earlier, man. We got a little real for a minute talking about a few of these guys for sure. Had to get a little serious, but I thought Stu was solid overall. So not much to say really on him. He was solid tonight.
Yeah.
Last guy, guys, we'll go to is Kenya Woo. Savage Woo. Javonte Green, man. Tonight, guys, Javonte Green had 5 points on 1 for 5 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3. All 5 of his shots were threes, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
2 or 3 from the free throw line, 1 steal in 16 minutes, boss. So what did you see from Savage Woo tonight?
Yeah, usually he puts up threes in the clutch and he nails them. Like he's usually very timely. It was okay that he didn't tonight because he got the right looks. He wasn't, forcing anything up. He had that big 3 in the second, which helped. We were down by 15 and it started a 6-0 run for us.
Yeah.
To get back into it. Then he got fouled on the 3, made 2 or 3 free throws. Not mad about it. Mm-hmm. Great defense again. Only 1 foul. I just always commend him for his minutes and being a defender and only getting 1 foul. No turnovers. Got a steal. Yeah, 16 minutes. Again, he didn't play a ton of minutes, but 16 minutes, I thought he played a little bit less. Just
it felt like it, didn't it?
Yeah. But then again, we talked about it. Like it goes to show just kind of the impact that he makes on defense. I'm so curious to see. I would love to see a stat on him of like when guys do shoot over him, if they make, because he's a defender that forces the guy to give it up. He's a defender that forces the guy to have to find a shot or give it up. He stays in front. He runs through screens. He's not deterred. I his energy is always out there. Yeah, he did nothing necessarily wrong tonight. I'm just always excited to see more from him. And he did have a timely 3, and then he tried for the other ones, but he usually does deliver.
Yeah.
For us late.
So in line with that, Chris says, "Mr. I'm off tonight, coach." Right. By the way, guys, for anybody who doesn't know, Chris came up with the nickname for him, Mr. What You Need Coach. And I think 90% of the time when Chris has commented about Woo, it's been Mr. What You Need Coach. Tonight, I'm taking a day off tonight. I'm gonna take one out tonight for sure. Yeah, like he just shots that he usually makes just weren't falling.
Yeah.
Organic says he felt like he was rushing a little bit on his threes, kind of catching and getting it up quick. I saw that a little bit too. Once again, we saw Phoenix closing out and being attached to shooters. So he had less airspace, right? Less time to really gather and get it off. I think you're right. I think you're right about that. But I'm not too concerned at all. I'm not concerned at all, actually. No. More times than not, when he's open, especially from that corner, that's money. Yeah. That's money. So everybody has off shooting nights. That didn't change the way he played.
Exactly.
He still played the same way. So if you play the same way, I don't care if you have off shooting nights. If you're consistently bringing what you usually bring, I can live with it. Camille says, do you still see Javonte Green as someone who will get minutes after the trade deadline? Absolutely. I think it's very likely that he'll fall out of the rotation after addition. Absolutely not. Nope. That is one guy, Camille, I am not concerned about as far as his minutes.
No. Yeah.
He, to me, is one of the best connectors on this team. I think he embodies this team. Even though we have a lot of guys who do embody this team, well, I think he embodies this team better than most.
He's been Mr. Consistent, which is what I've called him. He's always just been consistent. Like today, you could say that it was a bad game for him based on 1 of 5 shooting, but he's never had a bad game with us. Like he's never been detrimental to our game or to our flow or anything. You can throw him in any lineup, any time of the game, and he's just going to bring it.
Yeah, I mean, even the shots he took. I said before, how often do we say, "What in the world are you doing, Javonte? What kind of shot was that?" All of his shots are within the flow of the offense. They're in the rhythm. He's usually got some space, right? Yep. He's not taking the ball, taking it upon himself and trying to be. He just He's a team player. He's a team player, and he does not hurt you on the court. He didn't shoot well. I still felt like he was a positive in this game. He was rushing. The Suns right. They were closing out. They were attached. Exactly.
And not that he doesn't, face defensive teams, but he just understood the importance of this game. Like, this is the first time in a while we had to dig ourselves out of a hole throughout the whole game. This is the first time in a while, like, we've come close, or we've gotten ahead and we've stayed close. This is the first time we have to dig ourselves out of a 15-point hole that we're in the whole quarter. And so I think he was just trying to contribute. And he knows that he can't make those. Some of them, he looked confident. Like, some of them, after I saw him, the way he, after I saw his follow through, I was like, oh, that's going in because of that. And it didn't. So some of them he did take confidently. And I think he was just trying to be like, well, it's low on the shot clock, or I'm in the corner, so I can't really just trap myself here. So let me get it off, Yeah. And 100%. He's a guy that I don't mind doing that because he does just get back on D. Like, if he misses a shot, he's not going to linger. Like, he'll shoot and then he'll be ready to go either grab that rebound or get back immediately if it's off. So,
yeah. Here's the thing. He says, I like Javonte too, but as I said, he was brought in more for roster depth. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing him in that role. Here's the thing, bro. We thought he was going to be brought in for roster depth. Doesn't mean that's what they thought.
Yeah.
Right? Because nobody, as a fan, really knew who he was. I don't think what he's doing right now is surprising anybody on that coaching staff.
Yeah.
Nobody. Or Trajan Langdon. It's just that we hadn't really seen him. We hadn't seen many games with him or highlights of him in the past. So we thought, because we didn't know who he was, he's a depth guy. But I'm sure they knew better, which is why I don't think he's going anywhere, exactly because of how he's playing. He's lived up to it 100%. So I think that's more of an us thing than it is what they thought, right? And then lastly,
I'm just going to go grab my charger real quick.
Do your thing.
Rush out. My cat will fill in.
All right, cool. All right, Cat. What's your cat's name?
Jane.
All right, Jane, we got this. G Laval 77 says, again, if we can win a game like this with nobody hitting from the outside and free throws, God bless these guys. 100%, bro. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, when you can win ugly games like this, that says a lot about your team. It says a lot about your team. When nothing is going well, when your star player can't get it going, when you collectively as a team can't shoot, when you're just stuck in the mud, and you're still able to, and also when you are not really controlling this game for most of the game, when all those things are working against you, a lot of teams I've seen pack it in, and they look ahead to the next game. For you to still be able to pull a game out like this says a lot about your team, about the character of these guys, and about your coach for keeping these guys locked in and motivated and ready to play and not allowing them to drop their head. So I just think this is a really good comment because you got to find different ways to win at times. It's not always going to look the same. So that's a great comment from G Laval 77 for sure. So we'll leave it there. There's going to be more on this comment right here in the future, by the way, G Laval. So stay tuned for that. I'm not going to go into it, but there's just more coming with that. So you guys will see that soon. Michael likes your cat. Jane say thank you. Okay, great. I know. Yeah. All right, man. So yeah, we'll leave it there, guys. We don't want to go too long tonight, but we want to get all these guys in. Ethan, I agree. He's proven that he'll be in rotation come playoffs. He's proven that for sure. So we'll see how that goes. But listen, guys, before I go, I'm not sure if he's here or not, but Life with Chris, user Life with Chris, he hit us with a super chat last show, and we missed it. So that's our bad, right? So I wanted to shout you out because he had a question, and maybe you guys can quickly. I know we're getting a little late tonight. It's what is it? Is it midnight? Yes, midnight. Sheesh. Okay. I wanted to get to his question. You guys can weigh in, but Chris actually asked us. He said, "What was the moment that made you love this team? And if you could pair Cade with one all-time Pistons great, who would it be?" I think that's a great question. Mm-hmm. Boss, I'll come to you first.
Okay. Can you hear me okay, first of all?
Oh, yeah. I got you. Okay. Yeah.
I had to change up my mic settings. But so what made me fall in love with this team? I started watching with my stepdad around 03, 04 when they won and just kind of got hooked on there. I'm from Chicago, so it was also kind of a rebel in me to be a Pistons fan living in Chicago. But they, I loved it. My favorite player was Tayshaun Prince. I really loved Rasheed Wallace. That whole gang, I just truly enjoyed. And so just from there on, just watching them play, especially, I think it was team basketball for me. Just the fact that they all were great and all contributed. I love that. And then who I would pair with, I would pick Joe Dumars because there's been no one like him. He just brings, he could be our second scorer and also would just bring insane defense. I don't think there's ever, like when you see draft comps, I don't think anyone's ever been comped to Joe Dumars. So that's who I would pick.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. I started watching when I was 3. I remember I was sitting in my dad's lap watching the NBA finals, or I was 4 watching the second year. I vaguely remember the first year. I vividly remember the second year, watching them beat the Portland Trail Blazers. 5-game sweep, I call it, again, because they won in 5 games. I'll never forget that. Just watching how they played, how they were together. For some reason, Dennis Rodman always reminded me of my dad. I don't know why. Same complexion, same haircut. I don't know. Different height, obviously. But yeah, that was my moment. Just watching the Bad Boys as a kid. It just always stuck with me. And then when they kept beating the Bulls over and over again, that's why I hate the Bulls, because they beat us when we got a little bit older and all that. But anyway, that was my moment. As far as players, I don't know. It's you could choose any. It's so many guys you could choose from. Like I think about the greatest 5 alive, the 04 Pistons we talked about. Yeah. I wonder how Cade would look with Sheed in the pick and roll and the pick and pop.
Ooh, yeah.
Pick and pop with Sheed.
Yeah.
That would be scary. Like if you have a pick and roll threat, imagine with JD, you already got a pick and roll threat, and you can run a double screen action with those two. Rolling and popping, like pick your poison, and then you still got Cade. If he's open, he can knock down the mid. Like that would be fun. Yeah, exactly, Lily. Yeah, exactly. Prime Sheed with Cade. Oh my God, that would be crazy to me. So that would be my pick. There's not a wrong pick. It's just a fun question. I wanted to shout out Life for Chris. Tara says, I started watching the Pistons when Ausar was drafted. I'm a Thompson Twins fan, but Ausar is my favorite. Okay,
look at you like here. I appreciate you.
Okay, that's what's up.
You guys,
that's what's up. Miyuki
deserve some of this Pistons culture coming back alive with this season.
I like it. I'm not gonna go crazy because we're already getting late, but quickly let's get to some comments here. Miyuki says, I fell in love with Bill Laimbeer. Yes, that's another nice pick and pop threat. Not quite the level of talent as Sheed, right? Mm-hmm. But tough player, great screen setter, great, one of the first stretch 5s in NBA history, right? So I like that pick as well. I think we're thinking along the same lines. Different player, I think, Miyuki, but same lines. G Hill, and when they went on the 13-game win streak, and they were, I forgot about that, bro. Yeah, G Hill, man, that would be fun. Grant Hill with Cade would be fun. That would be fun. Let Cade play our ball a little bit, and they can kind of, that'd be nice too. That'd be nice too. No double teams at all for Cade if we have Grant Hill, yeah. Right? And then Blake Griffin trade. Okay, I'm not mad at that. Not mad at that. Blake was nice. I hate that he got hurt when he did. He couldn't really play the way he wanted for us in the playoffs, but he played his heart out, and he still had a little bit of gas in the tank. Last one, Make a Hustler says, I was watching since Bison Daly days. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to Bison Daly, man. Bison Daly. Brian Williams originally. Bison Daly. Tragic story, man. But he was a solid player for us too. Yeah, I remember those days too, bro. All right. Joe D is my cousin. My family's from Louisiana. How in the world do you say that? Natchitoches?
Natchitoches?
Okay, Louisiana. I'm gonna go Louisiana. Wow, that's your cousin. Never met him. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. You gotta make sure that happens, bro. That's what's up.
I'm loving all these guys.
My bad. Go ahead, boss. My bad. Put it back up.
I was loving like Pull the Chair with Ricky Mahorn.
Oh yeah. I love Ricky Mahorn
too. As a guy with Cade would just be fun. The Bad Boys.
My bad. Go back.
Okay, it's fine.
I like Okor too because he's one of those stretch fives. Go ahead. This one says Ben Wallace is my favorite pitch. Ooh, I ain't mad at that at all. For sure. Yeah. We have our own rendition. Right, our own version of that kind of guy in Stu, which I love how Stu is, embodying that. So I like that pick too. Yeah. Chris says 86 with Zeke. Yeah. Mm-hmm. As of right now, the greatest Piston of all time. Right? Crazy. So yeah, man. All right, guys, we'll leave it there, man. Been a great night. Had a lot of fun with you guys, man. A lot of great discourse per usual. We love to argue with y'all as we did tonight per usual. Surprised me and Boss didn't argue tonight. That's usually one of the staples of the show. But we'll say that for next episode. But with that, guys, so as far as our next game, Boss, we have the Pacers, like you mentioned. They've only won 9 games this year. After their season last year, I don't think anybody expected this. As far as even with Hallie out, I don't think anybody expected this. Even with Miles Turner's gone, I don't think anybody expected this.
They got some of my favorite guys. I mean, I love TJ McConnell. I love Nembhard. Basically, I hate the Pacers as a franchise because I have to. But man, they got some great players there right now. So that's why I'm just as shocked because Hallie, I mean, Turner did Turner things. He shot threes and didn't rebound, but Hallie, is obviously a great player and they miss him. But I wasn't expecting this much of a downfall.
Right. I wasn't either. Man.
On that team.
It's quiet over there, man. It's spooky over there for them. But so we definitely, I think we should, if we lock in, should be a game where we go in, take care of business, and stack another dub. That's what I'm expecting.
They're offensive weapons. They are scoring a lot more. Like they're scoring a lot of points a game. So hopefully our defense can rally that in. Like that's kind of how we go is we stop their scoring and get up.
And aside from it just being the Pacers, I think after tonight's performance as a team, we are going to come out pretty motivated to bounce back, even though we didn't lose, to bounce back performance-wise and shooting-wise to really play much better. And I think that the Pacers are going to catch the brunt of that motivation. So we'll see, guys. But that is a wrap, guys, tonight for the show. We appreciate you guys, as always, showing up, showing out, arguing with us, giving us your thoughts, as you guys always do. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Boss's channel as well. Let's get her subscriber game up, right? Got to get her name out there because y'all know she knows ball. So make sure y'all do that for sure. So you guys have a great night. We will see you guys Saturday night, post-game after the Pistons hopefully get another dub against the Pacers. And y'all know the drill, man. Detroit versus everybody. Peace.
All the dirty work, all dog. I'ma dive on the floor, go try to block every shot, and I'ma be physical with you the whole game. You know Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think it's just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of canine. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Talking pundits, I hear you're ashamed. Talking that shop, you must run this way. Tryna tell ya, if the dog palm, mess around, find out, if the dog palm, mess around, find out, yeah. for some barbecue sauce. Boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're ready for some barbecue sauce. Boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. Mess around.